Hi. So we don't really have a ton on the table, and that's what I love about this is you don't have to have. There's not a lot, and a lot of this stuff you'll probably have laying around. The only thing that you're not gonna have, I would say, is going to be the alcohol inks. You can pick these up at your local craft store. I do have a link for Amazon. We are using the Tim Holtz alcohol inks. These have been my favorite. I think I like, there's nothing of Tim Holtz that I've found that I just don't like.
You know what? I'm pretty sure I saw those on sale at Joann's. I know those are from Hobby Lobby, but I feel like I saw them at Joann's on sale online on like Thursday.
Yes.
So you may be able to snag those for cheap right now.
Yeah, you definitely probably could. So let's go overhead. The pack that I actually bought, or that I'm using for the amber glass, it comes in like a 3-pack of browns. So you have a ginger, a latte, and a caramel, however you want to say it. It's caramel. It's caramel to me. Some people like to say caramel, but anyway.
Pajamas.
Exactly. But I know that our Hobby Lobby, after I think I bought the last pack of these when I was making all of these ornaments, and they've not had it since. This color scheme. I don't know if there's more people coming in or if they've just not ordered any more of it. But anyway, like I said, I do have the link on Amazon. You can check Joann's, lots of different places. So yeah, we're using like just a mixture of the different browns. I also have this pack. It's got a teakwood in it. We may try it. It's a darker brown today.
Ooh.
And I think I'm going to try like these different, I think I'm going to try like a blue one and see how we like it too.
You know what? I want to say something about the color scheme.
Okay.
Because I, as a crafter and a painter, I know that Christmas time, everyone wants to use red. I want to say that you probably want to be careful using a red for this because it's going to look like blood. Do you think?
I could see that, but I could also see it being pretty.
Like a dark red, maybe?
Yeah, like more of a burgundy red would be really pretty.
Not like a candy red.
Not like, exactly.
Yeah.
And one thing that you also will need, let's go overhead and show them this. This is alcohol blending solution. It is really good to have handy in case it not only is a blending solution, but it also takes alcohol ink off of surfaces. Trust me, we know because we were actually at Tanner and Courtney's house when I was doing these, and Courtney said, we'll go back to one. Courtney was like, hey, do you think I could figure out how to do that? I'm like, Courtney, you can do anything. Like, you can figure out anything. Of course you can. So she tried. We were in the kitchen. They have white countertops and white cabinets, and Courtney spilled the brown alcohol ink everywhere. And let me tell y'all, this blending solution, use it real quick. It got it right off those white cabinets and white countertops.
That's good to know, though.
So this is why I brought this little guy out. Once again, it is linked down below. So if you are going to be doing this, I would either do this on like protect your surfaces. Once you get the hang of it, like it's going to be very easy. But I like to have this on hand just in case that happens.
You never know.
You never know. You never know. So really, the alcohol ink and a trusty hair dryer is going to be what you're going to need to create these ornaments. These ornaments are 4-inch ornaments. You can get them at Dollar Tree. I think you can get them, they're $1.25 a piece at Dollar Tree. But I want to warn you guys, be careful because I know we all talk about Dollar Tree. Like, I love me some Dollar Tree stuff. But I want you guys to think about it because these are 4-inch. We also have 4-inch ornaments from Hobby Lobby as well that come in a pack of 4 that are $7.99 with 60% off. Technically makes them cheaper than $1.25 a piece at Dollar Tree.
Yeah, so just because it's $1 doesn't always mean it's cheaper.
I'm all about a good deal, y'all, and you all know that I like to share the wealth, share the deals. So yes, these are Dollar Tree, but just keep in mind, if they have them at Hobby Lobby, you sometimes can get them cheaper.
Right, and you can make a bunch of them.
Now, I do know that Dollar Tree has the 3-inch ornaments in a 2-pack for $1.25. Which would be a better deal, but the 4-inch ornaments, they only sell them singular for $1.25.
I like 4-inch ornament. I like a variety of sizes.
But a good 4-inch ornament is nice.
That's a good size.
Yeah. 4 inch is a very good 4 inches is a very good size.
Yeah.
So obviously that's what we have for our ornament part. And then we're going to be making little tags for our ornament. I mean, we're going to be using paper thin faux leather. If y'all have never used faux leather, what are you waiting for? I'm obsessed with using faux leather, and especially using faux leather with HTV on it. I feel like I've been using faux leather with HTV for like 10 projects here the last little bit.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just a fun project.
Yeah. So definitely grab you some faux leather. We got this from 143. This can be cut with your Maker series or your Explore series with a fine point blade. I think that's why I love it so much, is because really anybody can cut this with your machine. And then of course we have our Caesar Easy Weed Black Heat Transfer Vinyl. Today I'm just using scraps because the tag that I'm going to be making for this ornament is very small. So I'm just going to be using some scrap that we have. Renee says they're 98 cents each at Walmart. So
Good deal.
That's a good deal too. So with that being said,
Ryan called the dollar store the 5-quarter store.
I mean, that's what they need to call it now.
They should rename it to the 5-quarter store.
It's no longer the Dollar's Tree. It is
the 5-quarter tree.
The 5-quarter tree.
We'll start calling it that.
$1.25 tree.
That's so funny. Carol's saying that she didn't know anyone with the last name Crittenden, and I know Crittenden's from here, from East Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
I know lots.
I do too.
So,
I do too.
That's funny.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Are y'all ready to craft?
Yes.
Let's get into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go overhead. As you can see, I have already taken the tops off of my ornaments. Yes, I have spray painted the tops. They were silver. I just took some gold spray paint and sprayed them all. I actually stuck them all in some cardboard and spray painted them all in bulk. You don't have to do this. This is just a personal preference. This is just what we were going for. We just wanted the gold look. We didn't want the silver, so we did spray paint these in like a brushed gold.
It's all in the details, people.
All in the details. I cannot say that enough. Like, it's literally all in the tiniest details make the biggest difference, and you would never think that, but they really do.
Yes, they really do.
So to start out with, you are obviously going to take your top off of your ornament. And that's all we need to do to prep.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, take the top off your ornament. We're ready to go. So next, what you're going to want to do is figure out your color scheme. What I like to do with these faux amber, I felt like this brown, the latte was a little on the yellow side. Ginger was a little too red for me. So what I did is I like to mix all three together in the ornament, okay? So this is going to be a measure with your heart kind of situation, y'all. I don't have specifics on how much I do. So really, like I said, we're measuring with our heart with these. We're just gonna give a little squirt in the bottom.
Yeah, we're just going for it.
Give another little squirt in the bottom, and then we're just mixing.
Heck.
Yeah, okay. So we've got all of this. You're gonna need paper towels.
Here,
do you care to grab me those paper towels?
Not.
It's also gonna be a good idea if you all have a plastic cup handy. That way you can, if there is any excess, I always say start small and then work your way up. You don't want to have a ton of excess here in the bottom, but if you do, having a plastic cup available would be nice. That way you can catch that and then reuse it, okay? So once you have that mixed, if you want to use your alcohol blending solution, you can. All it's going to do, it's going to lighten up this color a little bit. So now I'm going to wipe off the top so that I don't get it on my hand, and you can even use this right here if you want to. We're just going to start moving this around.
Ooh, it's so pretty.
And then we're just going to start turning it toward the top, and we're still swirling it around. And now once you get to the top, you're going to want to put this here just to make sure it doesn't get everywhere. And you can see, like, I've got, probably have more in here than I needed. So we're just gonna keep on moving. Now, here's gonna be the tricky part, because we're gonna try our best to not stop moving. And Sadie, you're gonna have to go to 1 for this one. So we're just gonna keep swirling. Okay, are y'all with me? We're still swirling. You can let it sit if you want to, but we're gonna grab our hair dryer. Another thing that you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to not wear nice clothing when you do this. Just my
That shirt
suggestion.
looks nice.
It is. Do as I say, not as I do. Do as I say, not as I do. So we're at swirling. We're not going to stop. However, whatever works best for you. If you want to keep swirling with your hand, put it up against something. But we're going to take our hair dryer and we are going to put it on the. I'm gonna put it on warm setting, and I'm gonna go back and forth between the cool shot on this hair dryer and on a warm setting, okay? So as we're spinning this, I've got it on warm. We're gonna turn it up to high, and we're going to start drying our ornament. Then I'm going to take my cool shot, and I know this is making a really, really weird sound, but then as the cool air hits it, it doesn't allow it to run as much. Oh, yeah, that's high. Okay. And then you're just going to keep moving it around and drying your ornament.
Ooh, it's so pretty. I'm going to talk my mom into letting me do her tree with amber ornaments like this. I think it will look so pretty with some pampas grass and like some macrame ornaments like the ones that y'all got for the tree.
Yes. Sorry, y'all, that sound will sometimes get to me.
Ooh, she's gorgeous.
And that's it. I mean,
that's it.
That's it. That's it. We done.
Oh, I'm obsessed with that. I love it.
I mean,
I want to have those.
They're beautiful.
I'm redoing my tree.
They are beautiful.
My tree.
I actually have them on my tree at my house as well.
Oh, did you make some?
I made a bunch to put on my tree at my house.
Y'all gotta see Lauren's decorations. They're like amazing.
They look so good on a flocked tree.
Okay,
they show up on a flocked tree.
Because I have a flocked tree, and I feel like my ornaments don't show up, but like I think that would look good, but I was unsure.
Okay, one thing I want to show you guys. So as you can see, this right here, it looks like I probably didn't dry it good enough, but this is what I was talking about when it starts to swirl. So there may be some imperfections in this, but in my opinion, like that just makes it look more like glass to me.
It does. It makes it look like blown glass. Like they blew the amber glass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to give it some swirl, you can. It is completely up to you. If you want to come in and swirl your ornament, if you want to take your alcohol blending solution, just put a couple drops in there. And then...
And that will swirl it for you?
Like it kind of makes it look like tortoise glass.
Oh, I'm obsessed.
And then you'll hurry and dry that.
That is cute.
And then it makes it look kind of more like tortoise glass.
I'm obsessed.
Or, so that's another option. You can put some more in there with the blending solution. And then move it around, and as it's kind of giving you that swirl look, dry it so that it has darker places in it. And then it looks like you have like swirl glass.
I'm obsessed with that.
Like how awesome, and how quick is that?
Yeah, that's
And
so
one
cute.
thing that I want to make sure that you guys know is I tried these with plastic and glass, thinking that glass would work better.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. Glass would be better.
I truly thought that the alcohol ink would get to the, like I thought it would adhere to the glass a lot better. No, the plastic works so much better. Somebody did say, I want to see what red looks like now. I don't think we have any red, but let's practice. Let's play around with this blue because these blue colors,
That's going to look really cool when you add in that alcohol to give it that like tortoise effect. It's going to look like almost like probably bubbles, like an underwatery type.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you that my papa was a glass blower?
No.
Or my peepaw. He had sold glass at the flea market for my whole life.
Are you serious?
And it was in downtown Rutledge. They had a music store with a recording studio, and they sold blown glass. And that's how they made their living.
Everybody's loving the swirls. It does look very natural. It reminds me, and then if you wanted to, I have seen people like come in and paint like black on the outside to make it look more like tortoise glass, but I probably wouldn't.
You don't want to do. You don't want to overdo something like that.
You don't want it to be too much.
Right, like that.
You don't
want to
be too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's try. Jen said I would love to see it with green. We do have a green, but it's not like a super like pretty green. But I want to try it with this mermaid blue, and this is indigo.
Oh,
so
heck yeah! I already know I'm gonna love that.
Lindsay, we bought the alcohol ink personally at. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Sorry. We bought it at Hobby Lobby.
Can we have a moment of silence?
Can we have a moment of silence for this? Yes. We bought it at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at Amazon, really any craft store. Man, do I really want to mix that darker blue with this?
No.
No? Don't think so.
I'm obsessed with that. Listen, you know I've already started planning Ruby's second birthday party, and this just gave me an idea for a Nemo theme. What if we made little bubbles like this with alcohol inks? How cute would that be?
Okay, so in case you guys missed it, we have just put our alcohol ink in our ornament and we're just swirling it around to get it to cover all of the different areas. And you can kind of move it around. I'm gonna grab my paper towel here.
OMG, I'm obsessed with that.
And we're just gonna keep moving it. Y'all, oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this.
That is so cool.
And then all we're doing, we're just gonna keep moving it, keep turning it.
The color on the video is not the same as the color in real life.
Is it not?
It's not. It's not. It's really pretty on the video, but like in the real life, y'all, this is like a true aquamarine. It's like the color of a mermaid tail. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
I love it.
So what we're doing here is I am just keep continuing to turn the alcohol ink in here, drying it. Remember, I'm on warm, and then I'm going to give it a cool shot so that it kind of finishes it out.
It looks more true when we're at camera 1. The overhead camera is making it look more blue. Yeah. It even looks good with that amber. Like you could do a bunch of jewel tones on a tree with these and it would be really pretty.
So we're just continuing to twirl it around and dry it. And how I like to tell if it's dry is when I hold it upside down and I don't see anything run. Okay? So
Lindsay said she loves this more than the glitter ornaments.
I'm telling you, I tried to convince Tanner that this was the ornament of the year.
Like, this is like the new.
This is the new.
Yeah.
Because I think they're beautiful.
Right.
Because you can literally do any color. You can add stuff to them. You could still put glitter inside of them if you wanted to. I mean, I don't know why anybody,
I would love to see them on a flat round ornament or like a flat square ornament. Like how could you make it work? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That way you could apply vinyl easier a little bit.
Yes.
But I don't know. I love these without anything on them, y'all. Like if you're going to add something, add it to the topper like we're going to.
And one thing that you can do with these, I saw somebody say something about putting lights in them. Mm-hmm. One thing that I did at my house is I ended up not putting the thing back on the top, and I stuck a light inside and just stuck it on the light in the tree so that the light illuminates the ornament from the inside.
Oh, okay.
So it's, but we also have a very full tree at our house. Like I have a very, very full tree. So me just sticking it in there, like it stayed because there was so much around it.
Right. I love that.
So that is possible. Somebody asked us what we were doing with the faux leather. So what we're doing with the faux leather, we're just gonna like add a tag to one of these ornaments. You don't have to use the faux leather if you don't want to. There is a really pretty faux leather color that would go really good with this.
Is it the metallic one?
Yes.
Do you want it, the blue metallic?
Do we want to, or do we just want to add this to the amber one?
I'll go see what colors we have. And
go see what colors we have. We like to pivot and do things that we've not done on this show. But anyway, but what I was saying is you don't have to put the toppers on this if you're putting it on your tree. Like I said, I just stuck the light from the string of lights in one, and it like illuminated it from the inside. I'm obsessed with it. So while she's grabbing that, what I'm gonna do, and you can make these to sell if you wanted to and have a tag on there that has like a family name. We're just gonna be putting the year on it. You could have like a little saying if you wanted a Christmas saying like joy, believe, hope, whatever you wanted. But we're just gonna be creating a leather tag to add onto this ornament to give it like a little, little something extra. Y'all know we like to be extra around here. So let's go ahead. Let me get my computer pulled up. Before we do that, I'm actually going to put the lids on all of these alcohol inks so that they do not get everywhere. And then
this.
Dee says, I agree, Lauren and Alicia. This is going to be the new big design and ornaments. This, y'all, I'm telling you, I think it is. And I tried like thinking of lots of different ways to do this. I tried figuring out, you know, what would work best. I tried a couple different methods. I tried paint, water down. It just didn't give the same effect as this alcohol ink. And the alcohol ink dries so fast because, as you all know, alcohol is evaporates very fast. So that's why I like using the hair dryer to evaporate all of that moisture and it stays in place. It's not going to scratch off because it's on the inside.
Right.
So it's very durable. Very, very durable.
I love it.
So let's go ahead to our share screen, and I'm going to show you how we're going to make the tags. So we're going to go to our cut file section of makersgonnalearn.com. Also, y'all, raise your hand if you are loving the new Makers Gonna Learn website. I'm obsessed with it. Banner. No. Okay. So we're going to go to accents. We're going to go to accents because I know this is where I found these. I thought there they are. Banner 1. So we're going to be using this banner 1. First, I'm going to sign in because it's not letting me sign in, or I'm not signed in. Once again, we're going to cut files. Sorry, y'all. Accents. I just pulled it up. We'll type in banner again. And we'll try to go to accents again. There we go, banner 1. We're going to download banner 1. We're going to unzip this file, okay? And then we are going to open Cricut back up. We're wanting to upload. We're going to upload an image. We're going to pull our Finder into view. We're doing banner 1 and we're wanting the SVG version. So we're going to pull banner 1 into Cricut. I'm going to hide our Finder again, bring Cricut back up, and then we are going to upload these banners into Design Space, okay? So now that we have our banners pulled in here, we're gonna come up here to ungroup because we're only gonna be using one banner. So this is where you get to choose which one you want. If you want the one that's kind of wavy, straight, literally you can choose whatever banner you want. This is all a personal preference. So I'm going to be using this banner. So I'm going to delete out all the others that I do not need. And then we'll zoom in so we can see it. We're going to look at the sizing, okay? So let's go back. We'll go overhead and we're going to kind of get an idea of what size banner we want or need for our ornament, because remember, if you do this, you're going to have your top on and then we're going to tie it and it's going to hang off the side. So to hang off the side, I would say, you know, you can work with up to 4 inches in length. So let's go back to our share screen. We're already at 2.5. So I think a happy medium would be about, let's do 3.5. So that's going to be 1 inch in width and 3.5 inches in length. Okay. From there, I'm going to change my color. This is just because, so I will know the difference. It'll cut separately because we are going to be cutting faux leather and HTV. And then I'm going to grab my text box. And here is where you can personalize it to your liking. We're going to be using the Demonstrate font. And you're going to see us use this Demonstrate font a lot this week. Okay, because we decided that we wanted it all to be cohesive all across the board. So that's why we're using the Demonstrate font. for our tag because we also used it for our centerpiece. We used it for our stocking tags. So
that's a good design hack too if you're a decorator.
Yes.
Especially for events and stuff, to use the same fonts throughout all of your decor. It just looks better.
Yes. Okay. So we are going to, I'm just going to put, do we want to put the year? Do we want to put a saying? What do we want to do today?
Which one are you putting it on?
It doesn't matter, whichever one you think.
Just put the year.
Okay, we're just going to
think of anything crazy.
So whatever you decide to put on there, you're going to go ahead and type it in. We're going to drag and put it here. We're going to make sure it fits. If it fits, it ships. Every time I say make sure it fits, that's what I think of. And then pretty much you're good to go. So let's grab another text box and let's just say we wanted to add a name. Alicia. Oh. And then what we can do, so as you can see with this font, the letter A is a fairly big letter. So what if we wanted the rest of the name to be this big, but we did not want the A to be as big because, look, it's almost hanging off this tag. So what you're going to do, this is just something that I've kind of thrown in that I just thought about. We're going to do a small training with this. If you are wanting to resize maybe one letter in your text, in your group of letters, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Advanced and you're going to ungroup this to letters. And then you can see over here on our Layers panel that all of these letters are different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the Layers panel because I don't like trying to click and grab here because a lot of times when I try to click here, I click the wrong thing and I mess it up.
Yeah.
So I love working from the Layers panel. So I'm going to grab that A, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to size it down just a hair, and then I'm going to use my keyboard and move it back down and over toward the rest of my name. So we're going to grab it again. I still think it's a little big. Size it down. I'm moving my keyboard to move it over and back down to fit the rest of my name.
Gorgeous.
I mean, once again, it is literally all in the details. Like that's one detail for this specific tag that you may not think you needed to do, but I like how you can still read the rest of the name and then just size your first letter or your big letter down just a hair.
I love it.
Makes a huge difference.
Yep.
So now that we have ungrouped to letters, you're not going to want to go to Make It, because if you go to Make It, all of these letters are going to be separated out everywhere. What you're going to want to do, once again, working from our Layers panel, if you are new to Cricut, working from your Layers panel is, in my opinion, one of the biggest, I guess you could say, hacks that I taught myself.
Yeah.
Because I was able to, I don't know, move things here without moving them because I know I have it on the design where I want it, and I don't want to move it, but I know I want to work with all of these different letters. So we're going to click Control or Command, whichever one. If you're working with a Mac or a PC, it's Control or Command, and we're going to select all of these letters, okay? Once we have selected that, there's a couple different things you can do. You can attach them, or you can combine them and go to Unite. Now, Unite is one of the new functions in Design Space, or you can weld. It's really going to be your personal preference. Just know that if you come back to weld, then you are not going to be able to undo that if you save this project and then come back. That's why now I really like to work with Unite, because once I unite that, as you can see, it becomes one layer here. You can still work with all of your different letters, but then I can select this and come back in here and undo Unite.
Right.
So I do like using Unite. If you were to use Weld, you do have to come back in here, ununite them. They're still selected. And then if you just don't want to have all of these different letters on your Layers panel, you know you're good to go, then you can weld. And what's going to happen is it's all going to become one thing, weld result.
Right.
So that's just a preference, however you like, whatever you want to do. Oh, Shelly said, using my keyboard, what did you do? Okay, so what I was talking about, let's go back to undo, and then I'll have, we'll just select the A. So Shelly, I resized my A. So let's say my A was over here, and I wanted to move it back toward the rest of the name, back toward the second half of Alicia. If you'll go overhead, once you have your whatever you're wanting selected, to move it in Design Space, all you have to do is hit your up and down arrows. So go back to our share screen, and here you can see me moving my A using my arrows. That way I can get it a lot more precise than if I'm moving it manually. So does that answer your question? I don't know if a lot of people do that. I am obsessed with doing that, especially if I'm trying to get things closer together, but I don't want to move anything else.
Right.
Because I have trouble, a lot of times I'll select this A, and then I'll move it too close to my L. Well, then I'll need to come in here, and then I've accidentally not grabbed it, but I want to grab my A, but my L is in the way, so I don't know.
Layers panel helps a lot for
layers
stuff like
panel
that.
does help, but I also like using my keyboard to move my letters around.
And then if you want to go in the layers panel and select multiple layers, you can hold the shift key or the command key or the control key. The command key for the Mac and the shift key are going to allow you to select multiple layers. I use the shift key. Lauren uses the command key. And then if you're on a PC, it would be the shift or control key.
Yes.
So they work as the same function.
Lindsay, yes, we purchased our faux leather from 143. If I don't know of a backup.
This is Cricut brand.
Okay.
This metallic leather is Cricut brand, and it works good. And I don't really love all of the Cricut brand stuff, but I love their faux leather.
So Cricut brand faux leather.
Yeah.
This one specifically is from 143. I don't think it is Cricut brand.
No, I don't think so either.
But 143 Cricut are about the only two that we use faux leather wise. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and hide our 2022. After we've done that, I did ungroup my letters. So let's go ahead and group these back, attach, group, combine, unite. Well, whatever. It's all gonna pretty much.
Right, it does the same thing.
It does the same. So now we're just gonna go to make it. And that's it. We're going to obviously mirror our design for our HTV. And I'm gonna go over here.
I brought in those other colors just in case you wanted to use them.
Somebody did say something about green. This is a shamrock green.
Ooh.
I will say, I've tried the lime green. The lime green is not my favorite, or this one. Now, these are not Tim Holtz, so I don't...
Oh, okay.
They're different. We just had these. So, because we are cutting our HTV first, I'm putting my HTV on my mat.
Shiny side down.
Shiny side down, y'all. Shiny side down.
Just sing it in your head.
Always. Sing it, y'all. Another thing that's good is to put a sticky note on your Cricut that says, stop. Are you using HTV? Did you mirror? I had that on my silhouette when I was teaching myself. So now we're just going to load this into our Cricut. I'm going to press continue over here on the share screen. We are connected to our maker. We are using a maker today. You can do this with an Explore or a Maker series. We're using Everyday Iron-On with the HTV, and then we're press and go.
Go.
Press and go. Okay, so once we have that, I'm going to take my True Control knife. I'm just going to cut along the edges of our HTV. Y'all, this is a standard grip mat that is definitely more like a strong grip mat. We have not put it on. It's literally bringing that up off. It's bringing the carrier sheet up off that HTV.
Oh, what?
What? Yeah.
That's aggressive.
So aggressive.
What's it?
There we
Megan's
go.
asking how Ruby's doing. She's fine. She has a double ear infection for the 3rd time. So we got an ENT referral today, so we'll see how that goes.
We see.
Yeah.
So now, keeping this on the mat, I'm just going to weed my HTV. If y'all don't weed on the mat, what are you doing? Alicia doesn't. I'm going to call her out.
I know. I forget. I'm really do it really fast, and I just pull it off and don't even think about it.
I just think it's so much easier to weed on the mat. Ugh, I just love it.
If y'all didn't know, I used to weed with a sewing pen for years. For years. I didn't even know a weeding tool existed. I didn't know that was a thing. I just used my US cutter, and I found a way that I liked and stuck with it for years. And then I started using the weeding tool in January when I started working here. So just work with what you got, I guess.
Work with what you got. So now that that's done, we have that cut out. We're going to set it to the side. And then we're just going to pull in our faux leather. We are going to place it on our mat. Now, one thing that you can do if you want to, let's go back to our share screen. And let me find my, oh, there it is. I had to find my mouse. So one thing that you can do here, and let's go back and I'll show you. Let's just go back. I personally like using a hole punch. You can use a hole punch and punch a hole in this leather. However, if you don't want to, what you can do, and I don't know why I didn't think about showing you guys this earlier, is you can grab a basic shape. So let's say we have a circle, size our circle down really, really small. We're gonna zoom in, and then we're gonna take this circle, we're gonna scroll over. We'll probably move Alicia down just a smidgen. And then you can place your circle here and have your Cricut cut it for you if you want to. So what you would do is you're going to select both the banner and the circle, come down here to your new Design Space functions, and you're going to hit exclude.
Perfect.
Perfect. And then we're going to come over here, and I'm just going to move this back down to be behind. So now that we'll go back to our designing. So we've got our faux leather on here. We're going to burnish it down. We're going to go back to make it because we did, and we're going to go back to this second mat. We're going to grab our faux leather, if I can pick it up with my nails, and then we're going to load it into our Cricut.
I love it.
And then we're going to be using the faux leather paper thin setting. Love this setting. It cuts right through. So good. I just sounded like Tanner. What about it? What about it?
Sherry Bouchamp, and if I'm saying your last name wrong, correct me because you're here a lot and I feel like we need to know your last name. She said, if I have a design with lots of small parts and different colors, how can I get them to stay in place? Attach changes the color because attach will make it all one color, obviously. And she has a lot of small stuff. So there are a couple different ways you can do that. You're wanting them to cut where you want them, where you've designed them, right, is what I'm assuming. So you can group them. Grouping is great, keeps everything the same color. Or, I mean, that would be it. That would be it. You would attach everything that is the same color, and then you would group everything that you want to cut in its place. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. I got kind of questionable there for a minute because it looked like, but look how good that just comes right off.
Love it.
And then we're just going to take our mat and that centerpiece, yep, there it is. There it is.
Popped right out.
And then it's ready for us to apply the HTV on it. So we are going to be using, and I forgot to turn it on.
It takes like 30 seconds though.
Those
mini presses, they're chef's kiss.
We're going to be using the Cricut Mini Easy Press at a heat setting of 2. And if you all were here for Black Friday, I guess I'm just stuck on HTV on leather, which I did. Leather was the thing that I drew out of the bag. So
lucky for you, you'd already done it before.
Lucky for me, I had already done it. But yeah, this is, let me pull this up. Putting HTV on leather has, like I said, become one of my favorite things here recently.
Also, I'll say, if you've got real leather sitting around, cutting real leather and cutting faux leather are not the same cut settings.
No.
So we have, in our Maker U course, we do like I did like a real leather basket, and the cut settings are a little bit more intense. Like the faux leather cuts so easy. It's like cutting glitter cardstock. Like you just have to add a little bit more pressure is all.
Yeah.
So just make sure you're using faux leather for this. I think faux leather is going to work better anyways because it's more flexible.
Yes. So I'm like Alicia. I love working with regular leather. I've worked a lot with regular leather, cutting it on the Cricut, tooling leather, all that different stuff. But there are some projects where faux leather works better because it's flimsy, and really it makes it fits certain projects better.
Right.
I actually just finished making one. It's going to be coming out. I think maybe we're doing a live on it pretty soon. Where I thought, y'all, I've got to use real leather for this. It's going to look so much more professional, blah, 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 blah. No, faux leather did the job.
Right.
Faux leather worked so much better.
Yeah.
Faux leather worked so much better.
It's just good for crafting, I think.
So now that we have this on a heat setting of 2, yes, I should probably have this on a mat, but y'all, who needs a mat? I just like to go in and...
We like to live our life on the edge.
We like to live our life on the edge. We're just going to give that a little heat press. And then boom. It's done.
She's crispy.
She done.
I love it.
Lindsay said she finally got a mini easy press. It's a life-changing
I keep it
tool.
on my desk. I'm always got the mini press ready to go.
Tool. Michelle said Dollar Tree has faux leather as well. Yeah, like if you've never worked with faux leather, you can check it out at Dollar Tree. But we are going to make one more of these ornaments for you guys, okay? Because we did have someone ask, and then after that, we'll put the top on and we'll be done. So, there's my hair dryer. What we're doing, if we are doing the amber glass, remember I like using the Tim Holtz alcohol inks. We're using all 3 of these colors because I think it just gives a beautiful amber. You can use one or the other. You don't have to. It's just... This one has more yellow undertones. One of them has more red. So I think mixing them together, I like it the best. So we're just doing a little squirt of each.
And make sure you got your hair dryer on hand before you start crafting. That way you're not scrounging to go get your hair dryer and trying to spin your glass.
So now that we've got the alcohol ink in there, and this is going to be with whatever color you want. It doesn't have to be the amber. We are going to start spinning our ornament so that this alcohol ink covers the whole thing. And as you are spinning, you are turning it toward the top. It's also a good idea to have a plastic cup handy, because if you have excess of this, you can tip it over and let it spill out. So like right now, I would probably, you can see here, I've got some excess that's spinning. I would probably need to put that in a plastic cup, but what I'm just going to do is, because we're just doing it today, I'm going to go ahead and spin it this way and just let it fall into this paper towel real quick.
Someone made a good point. The Dollar Tree has faux leather.
Yep.
I forgot, and it's like not really bad looking. Like it looks pretty decent. I haven't cut with it before.
Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to continue spinning. Sadie's going to go to 1. We're going to grab our hair dryer on medium setting. You don't want it to be too hot. And then we're just going to start drying as we spin, okay? I also like to do a little cool shot so the heat doesn't affect the alcohol ink. And then turn it upside down. I can see it still dripping a little bit, so I'm just going to keep on with the hair dryer.
You know what someone said to use earlier?
What?
The scalp massagers. Like put it in the scalp massager and then you can just kind of spin it like in between your fingers.
You could.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Whoever said that, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name. That's a good idea. Gorgeous.
And then that's it.
I love it.
There you go. And then what we're going to do, we are going to take our top. We're going to place our top back in. And these do dry fairly quickly, so it's not like it takes an extended period of time to dry. We're just going to place our top back in, and then we are going to take some jute twine. We're going to grab our little tag.
Someone asked about using a heat gun, and I just think that's too hot.
A heat gun is going to be too hot. It's going to really, that's why even on a medium heat setting, I suggest doing a hair dryer. I mean everybody has a hair dryer too.
Right, and a heat gun gets up to like 700-800 degrees. Like it's toasty.
And then we're just going to tie. Actually, I need to straighten this out a little more. We're going to take our little jute and then just tie us a little bow here.
That's just darling. I love that.
Uh-oh. What did I do here? I did something. Anyway. You tied in a little bow, tied in a knot.
Put it in a bun.
And I can put it in a bun. And then we're going to cut off the excess. Let's find me some scissors.
There's no telling what would be in that drawer, honestly.
Y'all, I had to clean up from Black Friday, and it was horrendous. Let me just tell you.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize you had to do that this morning.
There you go.
Oh, that looks
Look how
so
cute.
good. I love it. Very cute.
Alicia's first ornament for this year.
My first ornament.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my gosh, let me see. This looks so legit, y'all. This looks like a legitimate amber glass ornament, like I'm tripping.
I'm telling you.
In real life.
I'm telling you.
Like, I feel like even on screen, it probably looks even better. Like, this is legit. I love it. So I've got all of our ornament supplies here. There's lots of different things going on here. And the reason I have so much is because I wanted to kind of show you all a couple things that we don't like and a couple things that we do like. So if we can go overhead, this is what we're going to be making. So this one doesn't have any vinyl on it. We are going to be applying some vinyl to it, but this is just a pink glitter ornament. This is glass. So that is going to be my first little tip for you all. Glass is going to be your best bet whenever you're making these glitter ornaments. And I could not find, Lauren made one with polyacrylic and plastic ornaments. This is a plastic ornament. You can hear the difference. This is plastic.
I think I threw it away.
It's very possible. And then I thought I could make one really quick, but I may be able to just show you all kind of what happens. Basically, we're going to be filling this with a polyacrylic and then putting glitter in it. But when you use plastic ornaments, the glitter tends to separate and slide, and it doesn't look solid like this one does. So you can see this one is very evenly coated. There's no breakage. Like if you see the polyacrylic and the glitter, it breaks up really bad and it like chunks the glitter together. It's not cute. So make sure you all are purchasing glass ornaments. Plastic is just a no-go if you're using the polyacrylic. So first thing you're going to need, glass ornaments. These are the ones that we use. These are from Hobby Lobby, and usually they're like 40% off. So $7.99 for 4 of them, and if 40% off, like you're getting a pretty good deal. So these are the flat ones. Now I brought some round ones in here, basically to show you all. You can do the glitter ornaments on these glass round ones, but the vinyl application process is a lot harder with the sphere shaped glass ornaments rather than these pillow shaped ornaments. So you can definitely do glitter. Like if you just wanted to put glitter on these, you can even put vinyl on them, but you all can see this is such a round surface. It's going to be a lot harder for you to actually apply vinyl to the surface of this one versus these guys that are flat. You can see they're skinnier, and this is like a flat surface. It's semi-domed, but it's going to be a lot easier for us to put the vinyl on. So we like the pillowed glass ornaments. Those are our favorite ones for making these polyacrylic glitter ones. We've got our ornament situation. I'll give you guys tips as we go through on things that we prefer, just because I don't want to overwhelm you right on the get about what you're going to need. So we're going to be starting off with our base. So this is just our glass pillow top ornaments. I'm obviously going to be putting some vinyl on here. So what we're going to need to do is measure this and then go into Design Space and go ahead and lay out what we're going to want to do with our vinyl. So let me find a measuring tape. Of course, I didn't bring one in here. Oh wait, I found one. I found our little mini one. Okay. So before we do anything, I'm going to measure our little ornament guy here. Okay, and there's probably measurements on the box, honestly, y'all. This is 4 inches across. I'm going to assume it's 4 inches top to bottom. Okay, let's go to the share screen. This is where the membership is going to start to come in handy. So if you get into the membership, we have the 30 days to master your Cricut. That's going to help you get your Cricut opened, get yourself comfortable, acclimated with the Cricut as well as Design Space. So that's going to be really beneficial if you were brand new to Cricketing. Make sure you're taking that 30 days to master your Cricut. It's in your dashboard under courses, and it will be there so you can actually walk through the steps to get to this point. So once you've got Design Space open and you have your Cricut, what we're going to do, we're just going to start with a basic shape. So Cricut comes with all of these basic shapes right here. If you have access, you'll get these shapes down here. But if you're a member, these shapes are included in the membership. So don't feel like you need to get Cricut Access, which is like the fancy version of Design Space. You can get basic Cricut Design Space plus our membership, and you're like good to go. So I've got this little circle right here, and I'm just gonna come up to the top middle, and we are going to adjust this to a 4x4 square. Now, since this is locked right here, if I put a 4 in the width and hit the tab key, it'll automatically adjust that 4 over there. If I had this unlocked, I could manually put in separate 2 different numbers. Does that make sense to everybody? And then I'm just gonna change this to what? So this is like my template. I don't want my design any bigger than this because I need it to fit onto our pillow top ornament. So I'm gonna zoom in, okay? Now this is the fun part for me. So this is basically where you're gonna get to pick out whatever image out of our library of over 15,000 images on makersgonnalearn.com. Let's go over to our website, okay? Now, I'm just on the home page of the website. You're gonna need to make sure that you're logged in. This little icon up here, this person icon, this is where you're gonna find your login and log out. We are already logged in. And so from here, if I was searching for a cut file, for instance, I could go to new cut files. This is gonna give you our most up-to-date cut files. I could come up here to cut files and select that. Or you could always go to your dashboard, and then you can get to your cut files from there as well. So you've got a few different ways to get to where you need to go. And then you can see it's going to automatically take us to our newest cut files. So we've got tons of different options in here. Oh my gosh, look at that Smiley Cup wrap. I hadn't seen that. Oh, that would be so cute on like a Stanley or something. I love it. So since we're doing Christmas today, I am just going to search Christmas. We have a Christmas category?
Yes.
Okay.
Scroll to the top.
So drop down menu, you can just scroll right here and select Christmas. This is going to give you all of our Christmas files. And let's see how many pages there are, y'all. We go hard for Christmas around here. Okay. Let's scroll to the bottom. It says 4, but there's more than that. There's like thousands of Christmas cut files.
Yeah.
We really commit to Christmas. So you can see there's all of these. Now, if you had a certain thing in mind, like if you wanted to search reindeer or Santa or something like that, you totally can, or you're just welcome to browse through all of these images. So we're just going to kind of scroll and see if we see anything we want to put on our ornament. Now you have the option of doing like a text design if you wanted to just type out your own text. If you wanted to personalize your ornament, you could put like a last name, you could do a monogram, something like that. Or you can just, use these SVGs that are already designed for you, which I really love.
So when I'm thinking of that like bright pink, what's the first thing you think of if you were to make an ornament with that color?
For like Christmas related?
Can be.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking like a smiley face with a Santa hat.
That would be cute.
What are you thinking?
My first thought with that pink, when I saw that pink, was have a holly dolly Christmas.
Stop. Okay. Can we do it with this pink? Like, can we do a holly dolly Christmas with this? Or should you go get the hot pink?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm obsessed. Let's do that. We might not have any dolly files, but so Lauren is saying have a holly dolly Christmas if you're from Tennessee or if you're from anywhere. Everybody knows who Dolly Parton is, right?
Yeah.
She's
queen.
Super. She's the queen. Okay. So you can select an image. Let me just download one just to show you all how you can actually take an SVG image, which is a cuttable image, pull it into Design Space and use it on the template that we set up. And then I'll show you how to do the fonts. So let's just pick, oh gosh, I don't know. I'm feeling pressured. There's a baby Jesus. Let me go one more page. Just one more.
I don't think we will.
We don't want to go. Oh, no, we don't want him. Not today. That wouldn't be awful.
No, but not today.
Just something that would make sense on. Should we just search Santa? Let's see. Okay. Holly, we are using your name. Okay, this is perfect. This little Santa. This is one of my favorite images that we have. Okay. I really just want this Merry Christmas. So you all can see there's like a Santa and a Merry Christmas. I'm going to show you all what I do if I just want a portion of an image. So I'm going to download that image by selecting this little download icon. It's going to pull into a zip folder. Now I can see my zip folder right here. If you do not see that, go to your downloads on, if you've got a Windows, we have a mini Mac, which is like a Windows Mac hybrid. But normally it'll pop into a zip folder on the bottom. Sometimes it'll be at the top right on certain computers. And I'm just going to double click that zip folder and that's going to unzip my folder. If you're like, I'm lost, you can go back and rewatch this. So you can kind of pause, take a step, continue. So double click the zip folder, then we're going to double click the folder, the actual folder, and you can see our images are in here. Now, if you're new to Cricketing and you're like, there's two, which one do I pick? There's PNGs and SVGs. A lot of times you will see this whenever you download our images, and that is because the PNGs are our printable network graphics. They're print and cut images. They're basically images that you're going to use when you're using the print then cut feature on the Cricut. We are going to be cutting vinyl only, and so the SVGs are the cut images. So I just need this little SVG, okay? So I'm just going to keep my download pulled up right here, and we're just going to go back to Design Space, okay? This is our template that we made. And then we're going to come over to Upload right here on this left sidebar, and then Upload Image. And then what I like to do, you can move Design Space over and then click and drag, or you can always browse and then go into your downloads and they're going to be inside of there. So I'm just going to pull this over, click and drag. Took me a little while to get used to, but I really, really love clicking and dragging now. I just didn't want to do it in the beginning for whatever reason. And then I'm just going to select Upload. Okay, so this puts it into our uploads, but it doesn't put it onto our canvas yet. So I've got my image right here. I'm going to add it to canvas. And you can see it comes in exactly like it was on the display. It's gigantic though, so way, way too big. And it also has all of the other elements. So we were just wanting this Merry Christmas. So what you can do over here is a layers panel. This has all of the layers for this singular image. So you can see I can select just the Santa and I can hit delete on my keyboard and it's going to delete him off. And then we're left with the parts that we wanted. Now there are like the star up here. I don't want him. There are ways to get rid of that. You can go down here on the bottom right and hit contour and then just select whatever you don't want to see. So I don't want that star up there in the corner. I just want
I don't know that I wouldn't get rid of that one on the
top left.
Top left too.
I know. So you can go back and you can take off literally any of those. And we're gonna do a text image, but I just want to show you all how easy that was. I mean, literally, like if we put a timer on it, like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's me just kind of slowing it down. So that's what you can do if you wanted to do a cut image.
One thing that really I've discovered takes the longest time when it comes to designing something is looking through all the files.
Yes, like finding one that just makes your heart sing.
Right.
I agree with that 100%. So that's one way. Now, what I'm gonna do, we can cut 2 different images. We'll keep this one here. If I wanted to do another one, I'm just going to duplicate my template by clicking this, and then you can hit this little duplicate button. So I'm going to have another one here. This is going to be our Holly Dolly Christmas template, okay? So what I'm going to do is go back to our website. I'm going to show you all how to download a font from our website now. So you can go to fonts from here. If you are on the main page, it's right beside our cut files. So you can see the new fonts right here, or you can go into your dashboard and it's also located in your dashboard. So lots of different routes to get there. And you'll probably end up picking one and just like marrying that. I usually use all those like top links on the top. Is that how you get to yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So
now, used to, when we first had our website, it would take you straight to the dashboard when you logged in. So I would do everything from the dashboard. But now it's like taking you to the home page instead of the dashboard.
Yes, which either way, and you kind of adjust. So, okay, I'm thinking in my brain. So what I kind of like to think about what I want it to look like before I start going and searching for things. So for me, I'm going to use 2 different fonts for this, and I already have one in mind. We have a font called Giddy Up. I'm going to use that. Have a Holly. Dolly's going to be in a script, and then Christmas will be in Giddy Up.
Okay.
So we need to search a font. So you can search a font if you already know a font, which if you're new, you're not familiar with the fonts yet, that is totally okay. You can go in here and search through all these fonts. We have different pages. We have categories for you all as well. So you can see I can just literally choose a page and like click through different fonts. Or if I wanted to select a certain font style, you can see there's a drop down menu here for that too. So if you're looking for a script or looking for a basic font, anything like that, you can just select one of these and it's going to take you to all of the fonts that are considered basic or considered whatever. So that's really nice. But we're wanting to do the Giddy Up font. I'm going to go ahead and type out what I'm wanting my image to say. So it's going to say, have a Holly Dolly Christmas. We're going to do Dolly in a script though. But
I already think I have an idea for a script.
What? Which one?
With the Giddy Up.
Okay.
I think the Nomad would be really cute.
Oh, yes. Listen, I already used that font today on another project. I just love it. It's one of my favorite fonts. Okay, so you can see, have a Holly and Christmas. That's what they're going to look like in Design Space. So I'm going to go ahead and download this font. Okay, just select the little download icon. It's going to go into a zip folder just exactly like an image would. And we're going to double click that folder to open it. If you don't see it down here in the bottom, just go to your downloads folder on your computer, wherever that is located. You can search for it on your computer and it should pop up. And then you can see here, it's a giddyup.otf. That's the file we want. I'm going to double click it and then I'm going to install the font onto my computer. So it's on my computer, excuse me, but it's not in Design Space. And so we can't stop here. I've downloaded it, but it's just on my computer. It has to be on Design Space, on our, like our cloud, I guess you could call it. So what you need to do before we reload Design Space is save our project. I'm just gonna save this as Holly Dolly. If your name is Holly, you're probably like, huh? Because we keep saying Holly. And I'm going to save it, okay? And then we're just gonna reload. And that's all you have to do to get your font into Design Space. When I first did this, I was like, are y'all sure? Like, are you sure? Because if you use more advanced like design software like Illustrator and stuff, you have to like import it and like there's a whole process. But that's it. And so now I'm going to create a text box. Let me zoom in. I'm just going to hit this T right here on the left panel. Okay, so automatically it's going to put it as Cricut Sans. What we need to do is come up here to our font drop-down menu. You can move this around wherever your heart desires so it's out of the way. And then I'm going to go to System Fonts. System Fonts are where all of our downloaded fonts are, and that's where Giddy Up is going to live. So you can search the font that you want and then select it there. How cute is that, y'all? That is the cutest font. I'm obsessed. Okay, and so now I can resize it using the bounding box, and we're just going to type out, have a Jolly Christmas. I'm like singing it in my head. Okay. And I skipped Dolly because we're going to do her in a script. But you're going to need to resize everything. Christmas is so big, it's making the rest of our words small. I'm kind of weird about like wanting all of my text to be the same size. Are you the same way?
Mm-mm.
So I'm gonna ungroup this to lines so that we can resize the Have a Holly bigger, because that's what you're thinking, right? Have a Holly should be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was just gonna manipulate it to put them together and then maybe make it a little
stretch
bigger.
them.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now all this text is in the same text box, but what I want to do, Lauren was saying to move the Have a and Holly closer together, bump them up a little bit, and then make them bigger, and then we'll slide the Dolly in. So what we're going to need to do first is go up here to this advanced option. You're going to have a drop-down menu. We're going to ungroup to lines. So this is going to separate every line of text to its own bounding box. And you can see here, whenever I select the Have a, since it was on its own line, it's going to be separate from the other ones. So we've got both of those there.
Actually, now that you do that,
it doesn't look that bad.
It doesn't look bad because you have enough room to make Dolly pretty big.
Okay. So we're not going to resize it. But if you wanted to adjust the sizing a little bit, I like to adjust them together. So like you can select Holly, hold the shift key down, and select Have a, and you can resize them at the same time if you wanted to do that. But I'm just going to keep it as it is, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is, what font did we say?
Nomad.
Nomad. We probably already have it.
Yeah.
I'll go through the font downloading situation one more time for you all. So if there's a font that you want or a style that you want, you can go over to our fonts. I'm just going to select script, and we're going to be doing the word Dolly, and I'm going to hit preview. And this way you can see right here in all these sample text, you can see the word Dolly. This is the font that we were talking about using. So whenever you're pairing fonts, and I'm like super weird about this, like if you're using a thick font, you don't want anything super thick for your contrasting font. There's like a happy medium.
That's a big, that Moonlight too would be cute.
Yeah, that would be cute.
The biggest thing when it comes to pairing fonts is not to pair a thick and a thick or a thin and a thin. Right. It needs to be opposites.
Or like you don't want to do a script and a script. Right. Or a basic and a basic.
Right.
If it is a basic and a basic, it needs to be like a thick basic with a thin basic.
Right. So. And I have noted, I did say a thin and a thin. I did say don't do a thin and a thin, but if you did a thin, very basic with a thin script, it could work.
Right. There are exceptions.
Really and truly, it's more about finding the ones that look really well together and contrasting so that one word or one phrase sticks out from the rest. It's the contrasting factor that is the biggest thing with font pairing.
Right. And not only that, but like we want Dolly, like whenever you're thinking of your design, you want Dolly, in my head, is the most important thing on the design because it's pink and it's Dolly and it screams Dolly. So I need my design to say, have a Holly Dolly Christmas. But if you put it in the same font, like if we use Giddy Up for the whole thing, it's just going to be like, I didn't realize it had Dolly on it. But then it just makes it more relevant whenever we change it to a really like bougie script font or like a really fancy script font. So I'm actually kind of feeling this Angelina because it looks like a signature.
Okay.
You know, like a movie star signature. I like Vegas too, but that tag on that tail.
It's going to throw off.
Yeah. So, okay, we're going to go with Angelina. I'm just going to select that little down arrow download icon. And then I am going to double click this zip folder. And you can see it pops it into a .otf. Once again, I'm going to double click this and we're going to install the font onto the computer. So it's not in Design Space yet, not technically. We'll go back to Design Space, okay? Save your work, save it first, and then it'll tell you project saved. We're going to hit view and reload, and then our font will automatically download into Design Space. So now I'm going to go to my system fonts and with, what was it called? Angelina?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think you're going to It's not. It's a jagged edge font, ain't it?
Yes, yes, but that's okay. We can talk about this. Let me type out Dolly just so we can show you all what it looks like. Okay, so Lauren just said it's a jagged font. Can you guys see what we're talking about here? Look at this font right here. All of these. This font is so cute, and I pick this font a lot because I always am like, oh, dang it, because there's these little cuts which are not great when you're cutting vinyl. Like these teeny weeny cuts are not great for cutting vinyl. Mm-hmm. They are beautiful whenever you're doing print in the cut images or large scale images. We're doing something so small, like our circle is just 4 inches. So right. When it's doing cuts like that, it starts like jacking up the vinyl, and it's like it doesn't look good.
I love that font though.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna try something.
There is something you can do, but I don't want to confuse people.
Okay, well, you're right, because I was going to do what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. So let's go ahead. Let's just go to our fonts that we already have. So we already have like lots of fonts downloaded on the computer. What I'm going to do is just X off of that search font, and we can scroll through the ones that we've already got downloaded. You can see we have tons because we were constantly downloading new fonts. I'm going to actually shrink this so you all can see what the heck's going on. And then you can just browse through Design Space and look at all of your script fonts.
No, that's a no.
That is not it. Oh, Addie Kate's one of my favorites, so I pick it a lot. Okay, let's see. I was thinking something like Annie Carroll in the beginning, but I think it's too thick. Baby Cakes is always a safe.
I liked the one before Addie Kate.
Let's see. Affirmations?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we can do a couple different colors of vinyl.
Try it.
Or we can shrink it.
Maybe just a little bit bigger and do an offset.
And slice out the offset?
Yeah, just in like the tips of the words.
Okay, we can do that. So what we're going to do, we're just kind
Okay, this is maybe more, what we're fixing to do, maybe a little bit more of an advanced technique.
That's okay. I think it's like a step up advanced technique. It's nothing crazy. Okay, so what we're running into, as you all can see, the words are just kind of running into each other, but I want Dolly to be like really loud and big because that's Dolly, that's her personality.
Right.
And so what we're going to do is create an offset on the word Dolly, and then we're going to slice it out of the words around it. This is going to create a small space around Dolly so that it's separated from the Have a Holly and Christmas. And when I do it, you all are going to be able to see what I mean. So just follow me step by step. We're going to adjust the sizing exactly to the size that you want it. So Dolly is exactly how we want it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to select Dolly. Okay, I've got it selected. Up here on the top middle, there's an offset function. I'm going to select that, and you're going to get a drop-down menu. Now, initially, you can see there's a blue line. It's a 1/4 inch line all the way around Dolly. That is way too much.
We wouldn't be able to read the words. Right,
like it's cutting. You can see that blue line is going to cut into all of everything that it's crossing over. So we're just going to try a 0.1. I'm going to hit tab. That's still way too much. You can see it's going to be cutting into all of this. Mm-hmm. We just really want it to kind of hug. Let's try a 0.05.
Yes.
I'm going to even do a 3. I feel better with that.
Okay.
Okay, so 0.03 offset, and then I'm going to hit apply. Okay. Over here in the layers panel, you can see there's the offset we created. Here's the original Dolly. Here's the offset. Now, I need to slice the offset out of the Have a Holly and Christmas. But you can only do the slice with 2 layers of images. So right now, we would have a Holly and Christmas and the offset to slice out of. So what I'm going to do, y'all with me? I'm just going to select Holly and Christmas. Holly. I'm going to hold the shift key down, select Christmas, and I'm going to unite them. Okay, this is going to make it one image. Okay, so this is one image. Holly and Christmas are one image. I'm going to hold the shift key down, select dolly, offset, dolly offset. So we've got the united image, the dolly offset, and then we're going to come down here and hit.
Now it looks crazy.
Yes.
But just hold up.
Look at the layers panel too. I want you all to see what's going on over here. So there's like these slice results. We don't need all of those. So what we're going to do is just remove them. Hold on. We can remove them right here. And then I need to remove this one as well. If you accidentally delete the wrong layer, you can come up here and undo it. You can Command Z or you can undo it. Okay. Can y'all see how much better that looks right now? Like, okay.
Yeah.
So if you're like, what just happened? I want to encourage you all to go back and rewatch that. That's such a good little thing. And me and Lauren do this all the time in our design process.
Yes.
I do this constantly. I did it today. I literally did it for our masterclass. So this is all you're going to need to do. And so now what we need to do is cut it out.
Well, you need to bring it all together first.
Well, yes. So before we cut it all out, I'm just going to get rid of the circle because we don't need it. Let me get rid of this circle over here. Okay. Before I cut it, I want this to all cut out. I'm not going to cut it on two different colors.
No, I think cutting it with the same color is...
We're just going to keep it simple.
Yep.
So all this is going to be cut out of the same color, but it is on different layers right now. So you can see all of this is on a different layer. So if I go to make it, and I'm going to delete this stuff over here. So it's not confusing you all. Let's just delete it. Okay. I want to show you all what happens if I just were to go to make it, because it looks like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. When I go to make it, I want to show you what happens here. So it's going to be dispersed. It's not going to be exactly where we designed it on the canvas. Maybe. Okay,
it's going to be everywhere.
Yes. So like not a good time. I don't want you all going in here and cutting this out and then cutting this and having to place it on your own. No, we love Design Space to do the work for us. And so what we're going to do is select everything. Just click and drag with your mouse. And I'm going to attach it. A lot of times people want to group it, but that's not going to work. If you group it, everything's still going to go on the mat where you do not want it. We need to attach it. It's all coming out of the same color. So attaching is our best bet. And then when you go to make it, you can see right here, we can zoom in. It's all exactly where it was on the canvas. This is what we want, okay? And so the low top is on the mat. We are using a 12 by 12 mat and probably a 12 by 12 piece of vinyl. And then I'm going to select continue. Okay, we're using the, what are we using?
The Explorer.
Probably should turn it on so we can use it.
So what kind of vinyl, what color vinyl are you using?
Let's pick it out. So we have lots of colors here.
I love that green.
Look at this. You like this one?
I don't think you'll be able to read it in that holographic, unfortunately.
I know. It depends probably what color. So really, let's stay in Design Space for a second. I don't want to get off topic.
Okay.
So let me refresh this because my machine was not on. So now you can see it's going to try to connect to my Explore 3. And we are going to need to browse all materials. But Lauren was wanting to pick out which vinyl we wanted. So this step's going to be really important for us first because there are different cut settings for different types of vinyl. So Lauren was really liking this green metallic. Can y'all look how pretty this is?
Which we don't have to.
I love it. I think we should.
With that hot pink?
Yes. Okay, let's do it. So we're going to do this. So this would not be just our standard vinyl. It wouldn't be cut on a premium vinyl setting. This is going to actually be cut on a metallic vinyl setting. If we were to use this red shimmer, there's is it a shimmer glitter setting? There's different settings for different types. Like there's even a holographic vinyl setting that you would cut this with. So make sure, depending on what vinyl you use, if you just use like this standard green right here, it would just be a premium vinyl or standard vinyl cut setting, okay? But we're gonna be using this metallic green. So I'm gonna go into Design Space and hit Browse All Materials. And then up here on the top right, you can search metallic, and you can see there's lots of different metallics. There is like a Smart Vinyl matte metallic. We're not using Smart Vinyl. This is a textured metallic we could use.
Is that not Tech Wrap?
Probably. That's what I was just looking at.
I just think you need to cut it on the Tech Wrap settings.
Oh.
Because I think it's Tech Wrap vinyl.
Is it? I wish that Tech Wrap would label the backing.
Some of their stuff is.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Like their HTV? Or their regular vinyl?
I've had some permanent vinyl that's been.
It definitely feels like Tech Wrap.
It's Tech Wrap.
Like,
sure.
Okay, we don't have the Tech Wrap unless we've saved it as Tech.
TEC.
There's the Tech Wrap Puff. I thought we did too. We do have one of those sheets in that bottom drawer in there if you want to get it.
Yep.
Okay, so.
And this is good because where we talked about Tech Wrap being on sale.
Yes, if you all snagged any of that Tech Wrap yesterday.
Yeah.
So Tech Wrap is just a standard, it's a brand of an adhesive vinyl. So you'll see us talk about Caesar, you'll hear us talk about StarCraft. Those are brands of adhesive vinyl or heat transfer vinyl. So the Tech Wrap has its like own special cut settings. It's a little bit thicker. The quality is really, really, really good though. So I'll show you all in Design Space how to create your own cut setting for this specific vinyl. And there's a little sheet whenever you order the Tech Wraps that come with the vinyls that you're gonna need to save, and it'll tell you exactly the pressure you need to cut on and all of that. So I see some of you, Tara got some. Oh my gosh, Tara, you're gonna love it. You're gonna die, it's like so good. So the green that we're using is the Tech Wrap today.
I'm not seeing it, but I'm pretty sure the cut settings are 185.
Okay, so Lauren says the pressure settings are 185 for Tech Wrap. So let's go into the share screen. I'm gonna show you all what to do. So if you got Tech Wrap vinyl and you're like, it's not cutting on the premium vinyl setting or the whatever.
Because trust us, it did not for us at first.
It doesn't, and I thought, we were like, we don't like Tech Wrap. Like, no, we figured out it was us. It was the cut settings. So you're going to need to go to Browse All Materials, okay? And then Material Settings down here on the bottom left, select that, okay? And we're going to scroll all the way down. And we're going to add new material, okay? I'm going to name it is it TECK?
Uh-huh.
And then wrap. Mm-hmm. And then we're just going to hit save. And then what it's going to do is ask us to select what pressure we would want on it. And Lauren is saying that it was 185.
I'm almost positive, yeah.
Okay. And you can even select if you want multiple passes, which we don't. You can even select what blade. We're going to keep it on the fine point blade and then save it. I'm going to select done. And then we can go back into Browse All Materials and you can actually just search Tech Wrap. And you can see right here, that's the setting that we made. Okay, so now if we can go overhead, all we're going to be doing is putting our vinyl onto our mat. So you need these mats to cut with your Cricut, okay? I did not start out cutting with a Cricut, and I did not use a mat to cut. So I was very confused what the mat was for when I first started. And then I was like, oh, this mat makes everything so much better. So typically, we're going to line it up on the top left corner. And you can see we've already used some of this. That's totally fine. It's going to be cutting up here in the section because you saw in Design Space our design was up here. And I am going to take a burnishing tool or a squeegee and make sure this is down. So now our vinyl is going to stay on our mat. And then we are just going to come over to the Cricut. I'm going to slide it under the little lip on each side. I like to put a little bit of pressure on the end there so that it loads all the way in. And then once this light starts flashing, we will hit go and it's going to work its magic. While it cuts, should we jump into the polyacrylic?
Yes.
I feel like it's going to take a second to cut that. So what I've got here, I don't have the pink glitter in here. Should we use one of these or do you want to go get that hot pink?
Oh, I was thinking that with that green would be very pretty.
Oh, okay. I do too. I think that's going to be really pretty. Okay, so.
Like the darker, I don't know that the hot pink would be as pretty with that green. I'm thinking the deeper pink that you've got right there would be really pretty with that green.
I've been dying to use this color. We've had it for months and months. And this glitter is from Little Lattes. She is like a small Instagram shop. And I purchased some other glitter for a snow globe tumbler from her. So beautiful. She makes her own glitters. She also makes the beer can glass snow globe tumblers, and they stay sold out. So she is like doing the thing over there, and I just love it. She has a really cute aesthetic too if you go look at her page. And then another favorite of glitter is the Starcraft brand glitter. You can buy these on the 143 Vinyl website. I bet we have every color. Wouldn't you say?
Very close to it.
If we
There's a couple patterned glitters that they have that I know we don't have.
Oh yes, I know.
There's a couple glitters that are like shaped glitters that they have that I know for a fact we don't have.
They're a little bit more risque, if you will.
If you will. If you will.
If you will. So, but anyways, they have some really good fine glitters. And actually, this Little Lattes is like a chunky fine glitter mix. Would you suggest doing all chunky? I feel like you need a combination.
You have to have a combination.
Yeah, like if anything, you need you can do just a fine glitter, but you couldn't do just a chunky glitter, or we wouldn't recommend it. It's better if you do either a fine glitter or a fine and chunky glitter mix.
Yes.
So if you wanted to mix a fine and chunky glitter together, you could. Like if we had a chunky blue or another color we wanted to mix with this, we could. And you can see this one has some fine and chunky pieces in it, which I think looks so pretty in these glitter ornaments. So I've got my glitter. I'm going to just have a cup ready for any excess polyacrylic. And then what you're going to need to do is get some polyacrylic. So this is just like a crystal clear finish, standard polyacrylic. It's water-based. The brand is Minwax. And I'm going to pop this open just to show you all what it looks like. I've already got some in this little bottle right here. So you can see, it's just like a milky consistency. Now, you're not going to want to pour this directly out of the can. You can use pipettes. I brought some in here. This is one way to do it, and I brought them just to show you all, but I haven't even opened these. Oh, yeah, I did. So these are like these little pipettes. You can just squeeze in, draw it up, and then put it inside the ornament. But the best technique that we have found, and this is one that we highly recommend, is these little squeeze bottles. And I'll add this to like our links for you all after the show. But this has the polyacrylic in it and it keeps it fresh. It doesn't dry it out or anything like that. And what you're going to be able to do is just squeeze this directly into your ornaments.
This is super helpful, I think, especially if you're making multiple glitter ornaments at a time.
Yes, for sure. Okay. So I'm just going to pop this out, being very careful. Okay. And I'm just going to take this. And a little goes a long way, y'all. So I'm just kind of lining it. And I've got a cup here because if I have any excess, I can just let it pour into the cup. And you want to make sure to get this very evenly coated, even up here on the neck, but I'm going to get it last. So we're just letting it kind of fill up the space. I feel like it's covered. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to put a little bit more because I can always pour out the excess if I need to. And I'm trying to fill in the neck of this one. You can see I've got some excess coming out. What I'm going to do is let that sit and kind of drip for a minute, and we're going to weed our vinyl. Ooh, that makes me nervous. Okay, I'm just going to let it sit. And then if we can come over to the Cricut view, before I remove this, I'm going to make sure this cut all the way through, especially when you're working with metallic vinyl, because it needs more pressure to cut through, and sometimes we just don't get it, especially with tech wrap.
This is a little trick of the trade. If you always make sure it's cut through before you unload it, because once you unload it, things can change and move around in Design Space, but you can send it, but you can hit the play button again and send it back through if it's not cut all the way through.
Exactly. And this cut really good. So that 185 must have been on the money.
It's the sweet spot for tech wrap.
So I'm going to go ahead and unload this. You all can see overhead how I can tell that it weeded. I just lifted up some of these little pieces to make sure it cut all the way through. And then what we're going to do is remove the excess vinyl. So I'm going to keep this vinyl on the mat to weed it, but I'm going to cut around it because we don't need to weed off all this vinyl. We can use this vinyl for another project later on.
So yes, Brenda, we have etched glitter ornaments before. The problem with etching glitter ornaments is you see the etching before you add the glitter, but it's like after you add the glitter, the etching you can't see it at all. The only way that we were able to see the etched glass on a glitter ornament is if I added rub and buff on the outside, but rub and buff on etching will work, but you're only limited to like pretty much black because the gold did not show up at all. So I just don't think
it just ends up being a waste of time.
It does.
Honestly,
it really does.
But you can do it. It's just like kind of pointless.
Yeah.
So now what I'm doing, this is a weeding tool right here. If you're brand new, weeding tool, I'm taking it and it's very sharp and you can just kind of stab into the vinyl and lift. And I'm just very carefully removing all of the vinyl that I don't need. So I don't want anything from my letters to be removed. This cuts so good. This is like butter. I love when it happens like this. Sometimes it's not that smooth. I will just warn you. You know what I'm gonna need, Lauren?
What?
Tech wrap transfer tape. We have some, I think, in that little shelf.
This one should be fine, I think.
Okay. Well, actually, I don't know if I have any transfer tape in here.
I'll go grab some tech wrap just in case.
Okay.
Just to be on the safe side.
And then I'm just removing the middles of these letters and just very carefully, because we don't want any of that in here. Okay. This green's gonna look so good with that glitter color. And I was telling Lauren, I was asking her if she would bring me the tech wrap transfer because I have found that the tech wrap doesn't transfer as well with non-tech wrap brand transfer tapes. But mostly we use like masking transfer. I really like the Caesar transfer tape to transfer my vinyl decals. But the tech wrap, I always use the tech wrap brand because it just works better. Especially when I'm working with like specialty vinyls like this metallic, I feel like this will work better.
So we did have a question. Heather asked, how obvious is it that when that it's cut through when you do check? Sometimes I feel like some areas are cut through, but not where I quote unquote checked. Is there a trick? My advice to you is check multiple areas. So check like the bottom right and then the top left. And if you're questioning it, if you really look and look hard, you should see that it has cut through.
Yes.
You should be able to, and so once you've checked at least the top, like one top corner and an opposite bottom corner, it should be good.
Yeah. So I've got my transfer tape here. I'm just gonna remove the backing from my transfer tape so you can see it's clear, which is great for transferring. And I've cut a piece off of it that's about the size of my decal. And we're just gonna use the taco method, so fold it in half. And then you're just going to lay it right on top of your decal. Now, if you're super particular, these do have some grid lines, so you can kind of use the grid lines to line it up straight. If you're new here, I'm an eyeballer and I do not do precision. So it's just who I am as a person. I'm just owning it. So I've got that. I'm gonna set it to the side and we are gonna do the rest of our glitter ornament. So you can see I've got some pooling there. I'm just gonna dump that out. If this was a little bit smaller of an ornament, it would probably just sit right there. But you can just kind of tap out the excess. Let it sit for one more second. I'm gonna show you all how to get this glitter inside. If you're like, how are you gonna do that? We are not just gonna go and pour it in. Okay, this is one of Tanner's favorite things. And it's this copy paper funnel. It's like a paper funnel. We're just going to be making it. You can use notebook paper, copy paper, whatever you want. We're just going to start on one corner, and our point's going to be down here. It doesn't need to be super narrow, but it just needs to fit into the whole of our Christmas ornament.
We did have another question. Where do you get the Tech Wrap transfer tape? Most of the time when you buy a pack of Tech Wrap vinyl, it comes with a couple sheets of transfer tape in the pack.
Yes, which is really helpful. So I'm going to take some masking tape, and we're just going to tape the edge of that. So you see we've just made this little cone out of copy paper, and y'all can save this and use it if you're making a whole bunch of ornaments. You can use this over and over and over again. Just want to make sure that it's gonna stay. It's got a pretty good hole, and we're using some chunky glitter, so it doesn't need to be super thin.
Also, we had someone ask, are we doing Christmas already? Honestly, it's because we're doing a Christmas in July sale is why we're doing Christmas, because me and Alicia were literally just talking earlier. I know a lot of people, especially if they sell crafts during the holiday seasons, they start getting prepared for Christmas now. So if you are a seller and you are planning on selling your crafts for Christmas, that's kind of what we're doing. But we're having a little Christmas in July sale, so
why not
do a little couple Christmas projects?
Right. Yeah, it does feel a little early to me too, but
oh, for sure.
It's all in fun, and not only that, but like this will be on the channel all year. So when y'all are ready, we'll be here. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I'm just opening this little baggie over the trash can because I don't want it to go everywhere. Ooh, oh my gosh, this is going to be so pretty. Okay, Lauren, do you have a technique for how you do this? Or do you just...
Well, do you need help? Because that's a little bit... Okay, you got it. I didn't know if you wanted to hold one of them. There's not really a technique.
Okay, so use one hand, hold the funnel, and hold the thing. And we're just going to pour... I'm just doing a little bit at a time. Like, I'm not going to just go ham and pour this in here. Mainly because I don't want to waste a whole bunch of glitter. Just sit that to the side. And you can kind of knock this glitter around. You can see it's starting to fill in. That already looks really cool. Okay, that was too much. And I just said not to do that. I was like, don't put too much. And then here I go. Okay, I'm just going to pull this out and kind of let this glitter roll around in here. Y'all, that is beautiful.
This is where I like to put my finger or my thumb on it and just like shake vigorously.
Okay, I feel like, here we go. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Ooh, this is way more fun.
Yeah.
Than rolling it around. Just make sure you got it completely covered. And then I have a separate cup here I can pour this glitter into, and then I can get it. Actually, I'm going to pour it onto a sheet of paper, and then I can dump it back into my little baggie. Okay.
That's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. I'm actually obsessed. Look how much extra. So don't waste your glitter. Don't be like me. But we can put this back in. Y'all, come on. That's gorgeous. I love it. Okay, I'm just going to sit this to the side and do it after the show. But I am not wasting that glitter because she is beautiful. Okay. Now, we have that. It's obviously going to need to dry. You need to let it dry. Don't put the topper on yet because if you do, it's going to scratch off anything in the neck of that ornament. But we can go ahead and apply our decal. So I'm going to use this little tape thing right here. And then I've got my decal ready to go. And I've already burnished it, but I'm just going to go over it one more time on the front. And I'm going to flip it over and burnish it on the back. And you're going to remove the backing. Okay. Here we go. Can y'all see me good? Hopefully my big old bun's not in the way. Oh my gosh, these colors. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of do a taco method. I'm just making sure I've got it lined up pretty good. Okay. So what I like to do, especially since this is like a semi-round surface, I'm going to kind of work my way from the middle with my finger and align everything up. Now, this is a good trick if you're doing like wine glasses, particularly is what comes to mind. You can kind of cut slits in the vinyl And this allows the letters to lay down flat more easier, more better for you. Oops. I don't want my D to have a lump in it. Okay.
You can always, also one thing that I've noticed, especially with ornaments that I found is very helpful, is taking a, like once I get the transfer tape off, taking a weeding tool and going in and like kind of picking up one little area of that might have like a bubble in it.
Yes.
And laying it back down. Or even a true control knife if I have to on a curved surface, and just cutting a little slit where that hump is and laying it down flat and kind of overlapping it.
And I may be able to show you all that with the D, because I feel like that D did that, but I could fix it the way you're saying. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I'm just removing the transfer tape. You can see my S is not on there. Slowly, slowly. This transfer tape is really good though. Uh-oh, you can see if something starts to come up, you can lay it back down, transfer it back on, and y'all can see there's a little bubble. There's a bubble and like a little crease on my D. I'm gonna try to fix it for you guys. Make sure you don't pull this up too fast, because sometimes everything does not stick down. 9 times out of 10, something is not completely adhered down, so be very careful. These colors are beautiful. I'm obsessed. They look so good. So Lauren was talking about picking up the vinyl and kind of laying it down. You just want to make sure you're not stretching it. So be very, very careful. Sorry, I know my head's right in the way. Okay, so I just kind of picked it up. I'm gonna lay it back down. Okay, and just kind of taking my fingernail, flattening out any other pieces. And then you would just put your top in and you're done. You can always add a bow. I would definitely add a bow to this. We just tie ribbons around the top middle and we're done. Let me show you guys close up. Look how cute. Is that color combo is giving life. Like, I'm obsessed. Okay. Yep. Love it. All right. What did you guys think?
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
We're here.
We're here. Come back. If you left, come back.
Yeah.
We were scheduled. We had a different live schedule for today, but we missed this one last week, and I feel like this has been like these arabesque ornaments are so like hot right now.
Yes.
Even last year.
Yes.
I think it must have started the last couple of years. I missed the memo, but we're here, and we're going to show y'all how to do this using sublimation, and we figured y'all would be a little bit more excited about this than like the other one.
Yeah.
We can do the other one. It's really cool. We'll do it at a later date though. So we're going to be doing the sublimation tile today. These are such a cool, this is such a cool craft.
It is a very cool craft. It did take me, I will say this, it took a lot of trial and error to really get it down pat with the sublimation.
Right.
So if you are going to sublimate on these using this technique that I'm going to teach you, you're going to be like, what?
Like, why is she doing all that extra stuff?
Why are you doing all the extra stuff? Why is it so hot? Why are you sublimating so long? This doesn't make sense. Well, it will once we get into it, because it's really going to, working with tile and working with the laminate sheet is going to be a little bit different. Now, this is something that you can do, and we actually are going to do come boot camp.
Yes.
That you don't have to sublimate on.
Right.
So the good thing about it is we do have a template on our website for this specific tile. Already, you pull it into Design Space, it's already to these specifications, like to the size of this tile.
Right.
So it works great. So you don't have to do these sublimation. You can do these with vinyl. It's going to be, you would do like a little bit of a different design.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to be able to work with the print that we're going to be working with, but if you wanted to do like the banner across it.
What if you did printable HTV for the pattern? If they had printable, or not printable HTV, printable vinyl. and did the pattern on it. You could do the pattern.
You did printable vinyl and sliced it out, printed this, and then did the print and cut, because we are going to be doing print and cut even with sublimation.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would work out.
I love that.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we are over here, I was checking the heat on my heat press because we're going to start the process. I'm going to go through the materials really quick, and then I'm actually just going to throw this tile in here because it does take it a minute. So we have quite a few things here on our table. Do not fret, don't worry, like it's going to, it'll all work out
together.
So, yep.
I brought in the ones that you trialed to see, so you could.
So I can show them.
Yeah, I thought you might want to.
Okay, so let's go overhead and we're going to go over all of the supplies that we need for this project. So obviously the base of our project, these are the arabesque tiles that we are using. Now these are the Satori tiles. They do come from Lowe's. This is a Lowe's special. Like you can only get this specific tile from Lowe's that I have seen. It is linked down below. Now one thing I want to show you guys, I'm going to pull this one off. This tile has like a little bit of a edge on it. So it's not like super, I don't know, this middle part is not super raised, but it still like kind of goes off.
It's like beveled a little bit.
Like, it's still beveled. So, yeah, I do sound a lot better than I did last week.
Yes, much.
I'm still trying to work through that, but we're getting there. It is still beveled, but I was having issues with figuring out how am I going to get the sublimation to the edge of this tile. So let me show you the first one that I did. Does it look bad? No. It doesn't look terrible. Does it look great? No. No.
It could be better.
It does not look great. It could be better. So this is the issue that I ran into first when I was trying to recreate this tile. And I will show you exactly how to get this look. And it's just, I promise you all, it's going to blow your mind. So this is going to be the base of our ornament, is obviously this arabesque tile. Now, the next thing that you have to have for this are your lamination sheets. Now, we did have somebody ask us earlier, do you have to coat the tile with something to sublimate on it? So you cannot sublimate on this tile like directly to this tile. It does not have a polymer coating on it. So what we are doing is we are adding a lamination sheet to the front, and then that's what it is going to sublimate on, okay?
And you can use those laminated sheets for like canvases. You can sublimate on canvases with them, lots of things.
So the lamination sheets are the hack that we're going to be talking about today when it comes to sublimation. You can actually use these lamination sheets on, I have used them on canvases. I've used them on wood. I've used them on notebooks that I wanted to sublimate on. I've used them on tiles. There's so many different things. Really anything that you can adhere this lamination sheet to,
you can sublimate
on.
Right.
Okay? So that's why this is the key to today's project, is the key or the hack to today's project is this lamination sheet. So we have our tile, we have our lamination sheet. The next thing that to get this absolutely flawless look on this beveled edge, the next thing that you absolutely have to have, and y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, a sublimation pillow.
She says that because she thought that when she learned
I was like, this is insane. Why do I need that? That's not something that I'm going to use. Yes, it is. Yes, I do.
Yes, you will.
Yes, you will. And I absolutely love it. Now, this is, yes, the laminating sheet does turn it glossy. I mean, it's glossy to begin with. So it doesn't turn it any more glossy.
Yeah, it looks good. You can't even tell that laminating sheet's on there.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize that you had put it on the final product. I didn't know that there was, I mean, it looks good.
Yeah, you
like
can't
it's
tell.
on it.
Yeah.
So.
But the sublimation pillow is going to be key with this specific, this project. Now, I did do this smaller one without the sublimation pillow. It is completely flat all the way across. This tile, though, we don't have The file that fits this tile exactly, as you can see, the arabesque is a lot different. It's not as noticeable. And I think this tile may have came from Home Depot.
It did. The little baby one.
The baby one came from Home Depot, and it is flat. It does not have a beveled edge. So if you want to try it out on this one, you can. If you don't have the pillow and you want to test it out on this one, then you can try it out on this one. It's going to be a little different. You're just going to want to make sure that this fits inside, and you'll just have to have a square. Like, I wouldn't try to size this down the way we're going to do this one today, and you'll understand why in a little bit. So the sublimation pillow is a must for this beveled tile. So before we go any further, if we can go to 1, what I'm going to do now is I've got my heat press set at 400 degrees.
Cray.
I know y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but you have to set, it has to be a very high temperature because the ceramic tiles stay cold. They don't, it takes them a while to heat up. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to actually close my press on my pillow because I'm wanting to heat this pillow up. Because what I'm going to do, you'll see here in a minute, like this pillow is going to be what changes the game. So we're just gonna go ahead and close this, and I'm gonna have to readjust my pressure, pull it up some. See, even that's a little bit too tight. You're gonna have, your pressure is gonna be, you're gonna have to bring your pressure up quite a bit. There we go.
So you want it super tight on there.
You want it tight, but not really, really tight. I'm just saying you're gonna have to adjust your pressure up.
Okay.
Because the pillow is going to give this, as you can see, there's a gap in between this. So you're just going to let this heat up. So I'm letting this heat up, and then we'll go ahead and get into it. So obviously we have to have our butcher paper for this. We have our sublimation printer that is loaded with our A-sub paper. Now I know we've said you can sublimate with copy paper, and you can. I have found that it works better if you are sublimating with textiles on copy paper when you are doing like a hard or rigid surface. I personally have just gotten better results with the A-sub paper.
Yeah.
And that may be different for everybody. But for me personally, I have gotten better results on a hard or rigid surface with using A-sub paper. We do have our heat glove. You all, if you've been around with sublimation, I am obsessed with the Dytrans Pro Spray. This is our adhesive spray. I'm obsessed with this, so I do this instead of tape now. I have
your cutting mat?
My cutting mat, because we are going to be actually cutting the shape out of the ornament, and you will see this in a little bit. So we are going to go ahead and get started because you actually have to put your tile in here and let it heat up for about 5 minutes.
So this wouldn't really be a great project for a Cricut press, would you say?
No.
You would recommend a heat press?
I would recommend a heat press for this just because it takes so long to heat that tile all the way through.
Okay.
And heating the tile all the way through really is key for this project. So now that I've let this heat up, very hot, very hot, I'm going to take some butcher's paper. And actually, if you'll grab me a couple sheets of copy paper, that would be great. And I'm going to place my butcher's paper down over my pillow just because I don't want anything to ruin the pillow. And then the next thing I'm going to be doing, this is the crazy part, guys. If we'll go overhead, you're going to use, so the side of the laminating sheet that you're going to be using is the matte side. As you can see there, this is kind of like more of a matte. This is your shiny side. So the matte side is the side that's going to have the adhesive on it. So you're going to place it with a shiny side down, matte side up, ornament with the white facing down. Okay. Then I'm going to take a sheet of copy paper. And I'm actually going to put the copy paper, we're going to place our ornament like we just had it. So it goes pillow, butcher's paper, laminating sheet, ornament, and then we're going to take a piece of copy paper and place it over top of our ornament. Now, if you wanted to do another layer of butcher paper, you can. I'm not going to. We are going to be pressing this at 400 degrees, okay? 400 degrees for 330 seconds.
Very specific.
Very specific. And trust me when I say this is going to be what you need, because I have tried less. It's 330, not 333, 330. Which the 3 seconds isn't going to make, it's not going to make or break this project. But that is what we are going to be pressing this to get the laminating sheet stuck to the tile. So what's going to happen is the heat press is going to heat the tile all the way through. And then the pillow, remember we preheated our pillow, so it's hot as well. It's going to hug up around the tile.
And that's why you're putting the tile with the laminate sheet face down. That's
Yes.
why, because the pillow's going to like give it a hug.
Yes.
It's going to give it a little
The
hug.
pillow is going to give it a hug.
How cute.
So now we're just going to let this go for 330 seconds. I'm going to move some things around on my table, and then we will go ahead and get started with the,
The design.
that part of it.
Someone asked about a Cricut AutoPress. I would say, I don't know how much you can alter the pressure with the AutoPress. If you can adjust the pressures on it, I think you would be fine to use the AutoPress for this. But let me know. Let me know if you can, how much you're able to. I feel like it would be like the Easy Press, where you just kind of bump it up to low, medium, or high for pressure settings. Do you think? I don't know.
I don't know. We don't have the AutoPress. We've never worked with the AutoPress.
Yeah, just anyways, if you
But
try,
I'm sure.
let us know.
I mean, it's a heat press, so yeah, it should work.
Yeah, because you're going to be able to hug it. So that's why
Yeah.
the Easy Press wouldn't work. But like an auto press or a big heat press would work.
This is a heat activated laminating sheet.
It's just like a basic laminating
Just a
piece
basic
of laminator.
laminating sheet that you put through like the laminator. It's heat activated, so
Right.
you have to have the heat. So now that I've kind of got everything cleaned off, we are going to hop over into Design Space.
So there will be a replay on this. So if you missed the beginning, you can go back and check that out after
Yes.
the video's done.
So the pattern that we're going to be using today is the holly pattern that is on Makers Gonna Learn website. You can go to Cut Files and you will find this under, if you'll just type holly, you can actually go to patterns and you could type holly pattern and you can find this. We are using the arabesque tile. Once again, this is a cut file with Makers Gonna Learn. If you'll just go to our cut files and type in arabesque, you will find this file that is specific to the Lowe's arabesque tiles. And then of course we are using this one. You would think if you search Merriam-Bright that you would be able to find it. It is actually named Trees. So you will have to search Trees for this one. But we are going to just be using the Merriam-Bright portion of this. So 3 cut files that we're going to be using, or 3 files on the Makers Gonna Learn website is what we're going to be using. So we're going to start out with this file. Now I'm going to take one of the tiles that I've already, actually let's do this one that I've already sublimated on, and we are just going to double check the size of this to make sure that the sizing in Cricut Design Space is correct. So I'm just going to, we're looking at about 3.5, and I think we're like at 3.6 there by a little over 4.25, and that's what we're at. So I'm actually just going to leave it at that, or if you wanted to even, the good thing about this is if you bump it up just a little bit, that gives you a little more wiggle room on the outside edges, so you can make sure it covers the whole thing. So we'll just bump that up to 3.7 and 4.4 based on the measurements that we have. And from there, what we're going to do is we're going to pull over our pattern, our holly pattern. We are going to place it in front, and you can kind of move this around to where you want it. So if you wanted like holly leaves, the holly berries showing up there, just kind of move it around to where you want it on the pattern. And what you could do is actually click that pattern. We're gonna bring it to front. It
Or you
covers
could
it up.
change that shape to a guide and then move it around on top of the pattern and then change it back to the cut function.
Okay, so we'll change this to a guide and we're gonna bring it to front and see where we want it. Now remember, we're gonna have that banner going across the middle. So let's do like right here. I think I like this.
Cute.
Then I'm gonna change it back to a basic cut, select both of them, and then we're just going to slice that.
Or you can use one of the new functions also. If you guys have played around with them, you can use those in this instance for them.
I actually was going to, but then when it did not give me the option. So like, let's just say I've got this, but I think it's because one is a basic cut and one is a print and cut. I selected both of them. It doesn't give me the option here.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
just sliced with that still yet. Everyone learns something new every day.
Dang, okay.
So we're gonna move that over to the side. We're gonna leave this here. Now, let's go to camera 1 because we are at about 30 seconds left and I don't want you guys to miss this part because this is going to be key.
I about forgot about it. It was taking for so long.
I know. This is why you can kind of sit it and forget it. You can do multiple of these at a time. Do we not have a true control knife in here?
Surely. I'll grab one for you.
Yeah, grab me a true control knife if you don't care.
Oh, wait. There might be one here.
We're going to go ahead and put our heat resistant glove on because this is going to be so hot. Y'all, I don't know if you can see this, but it gets crispy. It gets very, very crispy. Like, it's crispy. So it is going to be stuck to the paper. Do not touch it. However, with your heat resistant glove, I don't know if you all can see these bubbles. Take your finger and we're going to just kind of move those bubbles out while it's hot, okay? So you're just going to make sure, and we're going to press it down, make sure it adheres around everything and move this around while it is hot, okay? However, I do not want you guys to, one thing that I have discovered where it works so much better is if you leave this alone, let it cool down before you trim the edges. Because what happens is this laminating sheet is still malleable, like it's still movable. It's not stiffened up yet because this is still hot. So what you're gonna wanna do, we've pressed all of our bubbles out. One thing I did learn when doing this, do not take one of your squeegees and try to squeegee it out because the tile is so hot that it will take off pieces of your squeegee.
I was about to ask you, why don't you just use a squeegee?
Because
I can't believe that.
I tried that. And then there were blue pieces of my squeegee left on my tile. It melted it.
That's
literally
crazy.
melted it.
Yeah, so
Tina,
it's very
I
hot.
would not try your burnisher. I mean, the burnishing tool is rubber, so I don't know. I would still just use my heat-resistant glove. I can't feel the heat through here because it's so thick, and I would just move it down, okay? So we're going to set this over to the side. We're going to let that cool down. We're gonna move, and I don't know if you all can see, like how this left an indention.
She's crispy.
But look how you can see the indention in this butcher paper that the pillow left, which is that's how well that pillow works. It gives it that nice hug. And that's why that is very important, okay? So back to Design Space. We have sliced out our pattern. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this guy here because I don't want to mess with him. I'm actually going to work with this guy. I'm going to grab a basic shape. We're just going to grab a rectangle. We're going to bring the rectangle down. We are going to unlock this, and we're just going to stretch this like a banner across our tile, okay? So you want it to cover both. You want it to go overlap this side and this side because you want those rounded edges. Now you can make it as skinny if you wanted it to be skinny across there. You can make it as fat. Really, this is going to be your preference. Maybe you don't want to use Merriam Bright. Maybe you want to do something different, just one word across it. Then I would probably go more skinny. I really think the skinny would look good. But anyway, we are going to probably do it about like this. And then
Where did you order your sublimation pillows from?
Amazon.
Okay.
That was something that's not linked down below.
I'll get it.
I forgot to add that to the links because that was actually something that I added more last minute. Like I tried and tried and tried without the pillow. I tried to figure it out without the pillow. We did get it done. As you can see, this one was done without the pillow. It's still not the best, I don't feel like. I don't know if you guys can see. Sometimes it'll pick it up in the light, but there's like little ripples, like right in here. And I think it's because it didn't have anything to hug it to get it taut. So anyway, it worked, but it wasn't great. So back to our share screen. I've got those both selected. We're going to align and just center these, make sure they're centered. And then from there, you know what? We're going to try to use one of the new tools.
Do it.
One of the new tools. If you want to, before you do this, if you want to just be on the safe side, go ahead and duplicate this guy over here, have him over here, okay? So, because we just want what's inside this ornament, what you're going to do, select them both. Down here on the bottom right-hand corner, there's this new button. This is on the beta version of Design Space. You are going to click that. Now it's going to come up all of these different things. Unite means it puts those two together. It's a lot like Weld, but you can undo Unite. Subtract is going to mean that it is going to leave out one of them. So subtract is going to subtract this out.
Whatever image is on top, it'll subtract out.
Yes. The image that's on top, it will subtract that out. Right, like I said, we want where the two images are touching and nothing else.
Yeah.
So what that is, if you want where the two images are touching and nothing else, that is the intersect. Now, if you wanted where the two images are not touching, then that's going to be exclude, and it's going to exclude out that middle portion. So we want the intersect. So now we're just going to hit intersect, and that gives us the perfect placement here.
Gorgeous,
Boom.
gorgeous.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to my colors. I actually just messed around with the colors a little bit. Design Space doesn't have the picker tool, does it? It's just Canva.
I don't think that you can do the picker tool.
Man, I wish it did.
I know, but you can put a hex code in. I mean,
yeah,
you can click on that green that you did previously and get that hex code.
Oh, it's already up. I mean, it's already in there. I just wanted to kind of show them if they wanted to get a color that was in here to move it around. How I got this color is if you just come up here to advance, you can just move this around and kind of play around with it, get a color that matches. I'm just gonna use the color that we had previously used. So now what I'm going to do is select both of these. Once again, go to Align. We're going to center them both. Now with the Merriam Bright, what I'm going to do is so this doesn't give you the option to ungroup. This is still, I think this is actually a PNG. So it's not an SVG. You can't ungroup this. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to grab a shape. Once again, we are going to cover up these trees.
We're getting a lot of questions about the Cricut Easy Press. This project is going to be a heat press project. You can try it with an Easy Press. I'm just going to say you're probably going to have to be sitting over top of it, holding it down, putting a lot of pressure on it. So you could do it. I don't know that I would recommend a full design, like a full tile design.
Yeah.
If you wanted to like do a monogram on it and then you wanted to use your Easy Press for that, but
still so the issue with using the Easy Press is, if you all were listening, I said we are doing this at 400 degrees. The Easy Press can do 400 degrees, no problem. The problem is going to be holding it down for 5 minutes.
Like hard.
330, so 330 seconds, 65, it's actually 5.5.
Yeah.
It's 5.5 minutes that this is on there.
Yeah.
Okay, Tina, so let's go, before I answer Tina's question, back to the easy press. It can be done. If you want to sit there and put that pressure on there for 5.5 minutes,
try it out and show us what your results are. I would be curious to see like how it would come out.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you do have to have that pressure. Like I said, the key is heating it through the tile so that it heats the whole thing up. Now, I tried normally. So I've done some research with laminating sheets because when I was doing sublimation on they were just like paperback notebooks that I got from Amazon, cheap notebooks. What happens is the laminating sheet uses the tension and it kind of pulls it in. So what was happening is I was doing my laminating sheets at a high heat for like 30 seconds and it was curling that. So really and truly, after doing my research, a laminating sheet will adhere to most surfaces at a lower temperature. So normally it will adhere at about 250 degrees or so, and it doesn't take it very long.
Right.
So if I was sublimating like on wood, I could take a Cricut mini press on 2 or 3 and run it over that, and it would adhere to the wood and be fine. Because the wood heats up a lot faster. What happens are these tiles stay cold, so it takes a long time for the tile to heat up as well as a laminating sheet. And if you don't heat it for that long, trust me, I did it, the laminating sheet comes off.
Yep.
And it just does not work.
Yep.
Okay? Now, to address Tina's question about the beta version of Design Space. If you guys didn't know, Design Space is currently, they have a beta version that you guys can try out. Now, if you're not sure what a beta version is, a beta version is like the second trial run of a software. So they have an alpha version. The alpha version was tested in-house at the Cricut headquarters, whatever. They tested it. So the beta version is not the live version. It's actually one that's still being tested. So these functions are things that can change in the future once it does become the live version. So to change this to the beta version, let's go to our share screen. What we're going to do is we're going to come up here to the 3 lines in the top left corner. We are going to come down here to our settings. And then here you have general, canvas, load type notifications. Just in your general, if you go to application experience, then you can click the beta or the live version. Now, if I went back to the live version, that combine feature would be gone.
Right.
Like it's gonna go away. I'm not going to because we're in the middle of working on something, and if you do that, you're probably gonna lose all of the stuff that you haven't saved.
Yeah.
But you're just gonna click beta and then you're gonna click done. Okay.
And we just did a whole detailed video on how to do all of this too,
yes, and that will be coming out very soon.
Yes.
But that's just a quick snippet for those that are here. Now, if you wanted, Sharon asked, is the tile upside down? Yes, I heated the tile upside down because we're using the pillow and the pillow is hugging our tile. Okay. Nope, there is no pressure setting on the easy press because it does come with pressing with your body. Could you slowly heat up the tiles before? I didn't test it that way. I just preheated the pillow because I still wanted to be able to handle this tile to move my lamination sheet around to make sure it was in the right spot. So if you want to try that, you can. This is how I tried it and multiple times tried this, and this is how I was successful, okay? So back to our design with the Merry & Bright. Because this Merry & Bright is a PNG, you can't separate this out. Now, I'm pretty sure we do have the SVG version of this file. You can just start out using the SVG version. Either one of them will work. So what I did, I placed a square over the trees and I sliced that. Remember, because one is a PNG and one is an SVG, you cannot use the combine features. So I'm just going to select that, delete it out, and we are going to delete out all of our trees. And I actually think I see a little tiny top of a tree there, but I'm not even gonna worry about that. Okay, So now that we're here, we are going to size our Marion Bright to fit within our banner. What I'm going to do now, I'm selecting all 3 layers and we are going to flatten all 3 layers, okay? That's it. That's all you have to do. So now I'm just going to delete this out. I'm just going to hide this little guy. We're going to delete this one out, and we'll delete this one out too because we're not using it. So now we just have the one. Now if you want to go ahead, if you're making multiple of these ornaments, you can duplicate. I think I was able to fit 3 or 4 on a sheet. Let's go ahead and duplicate this 4 times. Is that 4? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go to make it. Now this is going to, obviously this is telling us like it's not gonna fit, but watch this. So we're going to move this one over to this guy. It's gonna pull up there. I'm just gonna tilt it a little bit.
It should honestly just do this on its own.
I know, it should do this on its own, but you know what?
But this is a good little hack to fit more on a print and cut sheet.
And then we're gonna move this guy over here. Gonna pull up there. Whoops. Oh, goodness. Move this guy up here. We want this one in the back. No, I want this one. This one was fitting here. And then if you turn this one this way, I swear I got 4 on here. Is that 4?
Take some finagling.
Maybe this is what I did. I think this is what I did.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. So you can get 4 on a sheet, just FYI. Okay. Now we're going to go to continue. I'm going to send this to my printer. I'm going to be using our SureColor F170 today. I am just going to go ahead and add the bleed just to, because why not?
I have a question. I'm looking at I'm lagging over here, but when it's on the print and cut sheet, one of them doesn't have lines around the Marion Bright and one does. And it makes me feel like it's going to cut out that Marion Bright banner, or is it just showing the original image?
Well, let's go back. Let's just double check.
I'm just curious why it would do that. Do you see?
I see it. It's actually on all these other ones.
Right.
And I don't understand.
I guess we'll see how it cuts because we have one without it and then the other ones have it. So we'll see how it cuts on the machine. I'm thinking it's going to cut right through that Marion Bright, but I don't know why because you flattened the whole image. So it shouldn't.
I did.
Okay.
And I didn't have mirror on either. So actually, let's just go to cancel. We're going to go back because I see that now. And the original one was flattened. It says it's flattened. Okay. All of them say they're flattened.
So we'll see.
I don't know if it's because this was the original and I just duplicated it.
That's what I think. Maybe that's why it looks like that.
So if I unflatten it, it looks the same. But if I select it and flatten it again, it goes away. So it's flattened.
Weird.
Unflattened looks the same.
It must just be like a glitch.
It could be because we're in the beta version and not the live version. It might just be something weird like that. We're going to leave this one like it is just to see.
Yeah.
Going to go back to make it. But see, that's just that one. So we're going to turn this one.
Mirror them.
Actually, remember, we don't have to on the SureColor.
Oh, yeah. SureColor printer. It mirrors it.
It mirrors it for you. So we're going to move this one over here.
It makes our life so much easier. It is.
I want this guy back in the back. You know what? Sometimes it really irritates me. Sometimes it be testing my patience.
Oh, it's okay.
Move this one over here.
These would be such cute Christmas gifts. You could put them like with some hot chocolate, like a hot chocolate mix or something. These would be really cute for gifts.
So we're going to go to continue. Once again, we're going to send to our printer. We are using the SureColor F170 today. I'm going to be using System Dialog. We're going to select print. Remember, when you print and use System Dialog, it does pull up back here in the back. So we're going to pull this forward. Now, with the SureColor printer, so let's talk about this printer real quick. So this is Epson's sublimation printer that they come out with after they realized that everyone was converting eco tanks. They come out with the sublimation printer themselves. I'm obsessed with it. I love it.
I love it too.
It works so well. So well, in fact, that it automatically mirrors everything for you. Everything that you print on it is automatically mirrored. Now, one thing that I do want to show you guys is when we go to, we're going to talk about color matching real quick. So there are 2 options you can go with this. You have the Epson color controls, which is going to give you more of a deeper color. And then you have your color sync, which looks more like what you see on your image.
Right.
Okay. So this one, if we go ahead, I used the color sync. So it's what looks like, this is what looks like on the computer. So I think I want to leave it on the Epson color controls just to show you guys the difference today. Okay. So the one we're going to be doing today is going to be a little deeper. I'm just going to go ahead and warn you, tell you this, the one we're doing today is going to look a little deeper than this one. So now we're going to go back to our share screen, and I'll show you, if you go to print settings, you can see it always mirrors that image, okay? So now we're going to select print. It is going to print our image. While that is printing, I actually have one already pre-cut because I don't have my Cricut out, but we'll go with it. So while that is printing, this has now cooled down. What you're gonna do, I want you to take your true control knife, and you can cut the excess off if you want to, but you're going to take your true control knife and you're just gonna run it along the edge of this tile to get a really nice, clean cut. And like you could even angle it kind of outward a little bit to get an even better cut. Actually, I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take my scissors. I'm just going to cut all of this off.
Get the bulk off of it.
Get the bulk off of it, yep. And then I think I'm going to remove the paper from the back as well. That's another thing, is you need to wait to let it cool down. Otherwise, that paper is going to stick to that back really, really bad, okay?
So it comes off better after it's cooled down?
Yes,
okay.
It comes off better after it has cooled down.
Okay.
So now, where did we start? I don't remember. Okay, we were over here. We're just taking our true control knife and working our way around the edge of this tile.
So satisfying.
It really is. It's even more satisfying when you're doing it because it slides so smooth across this laminating sheet.
That's so funny. Jacqueline's own. I have that printer. I have not gotten into sublimation. Listen, open it up.
What is stopping you from getting into it?
Yeah, if you're really worried, if you're really like, I don't even know where to start, we have a sublimation course. It's $70 off right now. Sadie can drop a link for you. Basically, in that course, we take you through every single step. So if you're like, I literally don't even know how to print something out of Design Space, out of Canva, we're going to show you what to do to print it. And then that would be your first step. And you can start with a simple project, like sublimating a t-shirt, sublimating an individual image onto a tumbler, things like that. But we take you through so that you're not like super overwhelmed by everything. Because I think sublimation, to me, even the name of it, I'm like, oh, that's intimidating.
It
that's
can be
gonna
intimidating.
Be fancy. But it's not. It really shouldn't be. Sublimation, once you've got your heat settings and stuff down, it's really a super easy craft. You just have to learn like your settings for printing and all of that type of thing.
I see that.
What?
I think it is a beta issue because this is the one that
you didn't flatten.
I didn't. See, when I duplicated them all,
it said
they were flattened.
Yeah.
But then they weren't.
Okay.
So I went back, remember, and unflattened these and flattened them again. Mm-hmm. And this one, the banner did not print out.
I'd say it's
so
just
now it's going to cut
beta.
the banner.
Yeah. It's probably just because we're using the beta version, if I had to guess.
So before we go on, I want you guys to look at the difference in the color just on this page right here. So this is using the Epson color control, which makes it deeper and darker. And this is using the color sync, which matches what you see on your computer screen.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me.
It is crazy.
It's crazy. Okay. Now let me go ahead and move this out of the way real quick. we're going to plop our printer in the floor. Turn this guy on. Well, actually, we're gonna plug it up first.
So does anybody have any questions so far in terms of like any of the steps that Lauren has showed us? This is my first time actually seeing that it like fully executed. I saw her like experimenting with it and stuff, but I hadn't actually seen the whole entire project. So it's been really cool for me to see how the pillow works and see how the laminating sheet works and all of that. I'm really excited to see the sublimation onto the laminate sheet.
Yes.
I think that is such a cool thing. I didn't realize that that laminating film was made of polymers. And so that's why you're able to actually take the laminating sheet and put it on things and then sublimate onto that laminating sheet, because it like puts a coat of polymers on whatever you're trying to sublimate on.
So now I'm actually going to, I want to see. Okay, so the one that cut out, that ain't right. Oh, it mirrored it. It mirrored it.
I'm curious to see how the print and cut will work with a mirrored image.
It didn't have any issues the last time.
It should be fine because it reads the registration marks, right? Are we fitting to find? Did you print it from that printer?
Let's do this real quick. Let's go ahead and mirror it in here. And now we're going to, right here. Oh no! No, it always does this.
Oh no.
Okay, so thank the Lord I already have one printed out, so it's gonna work. So let me walk you through this real quick. Because because this was done, I did this on my maker. I forgot to go back and change because we use a Maker 3 in here. So before I started, I forgot to change it to a Maker 3. But I already have one printed out, so we're still gonna get to finish it. But let me talk to you real quick. If you use the Epson SureColor printer, and working with the SureColor printer and Cricut, what you're gonna have to do, I just now realized that, some of the images, it's not gonna matter. Like if you just printed one, it's not gonna matter because you know what? It's the same here and here.
It's on the same position.
Right, but where I tilted it one way and the other way to make them all fit, you either, after it prints, have to go back and edit your mat and turn the mirror on so it cuts correctly, or you have to turn the mirror on before you print, and then in your print settings, go and turn it off. Now, if you just have an Epson Eco Tank that you've been working with, you already have to turn the mirror on anyway.
Yeah.
So it works.
Right.
This is just if you're using the SureColor printer, okay?
Right.
I have seen where people put polyacrylic on the tiles. However, I do have a tile that I have polyacrylic on. I've not sublimated on it yet. But I can already tell you it has brush strokes on it.
You can see the polyacrylic. I mean, even if you use a foam roller. You can see the brush strokes
and the bubbles from the polyacrylic on the tile. Whereas this one, like, you can't really even tell that there's anything on the tile.
You literally can't tell.
You can't tell anything.
Know. Yeah, you wouldn't
And
know.
I mean, laminating sheets are super cheap.
Right.
I mean, I personally, if I was sublimating, I would choose laminating sheets on anything over polyacrylic.
If you can.
If I can. If I can do it, if I can put a laminating sheet on it. So wood is another example. I've seen people laminate using a polyacrylic on wood. I would still choose a laminating sheet.
The only time I think I wouldn't is if I didn't want a glossy finish.
Yeah.
If I wanted like to use a matte polyacrylic finish or like a satin
But what's going to happen is what happens with the polyacrylic when you sublimate on the polyacrylic, the paper a lot of times will get stuck and you have to go in and wash it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it gets stuck and it doesn't pull off super easy.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, we're just going to use what we have. This was cut out. Really and truly, you don't have to use print and cut. You can hand cut this out. This is just in case you want it to fit right on there. You can even make this a square and just lay it on there.
Yeah.
It's going to sublimate. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my Dye Trans Pro Spray. Now, if you want to use tape, this is where you would use tape and just tape it down. This is all a personal preference. This is just what I have been using and I have been obsessed over. So I'm just going to shake it and we are going to give it a light spray. That's all it takes. No more than that. And it gets really sticky, y'all. So sticky.
It'll get on everything.
It seriously gets on everything. Like my hand right here is so sticky already. So we are going, and like, it's crazy, but it like gets on my arm hairs and my arm hairs
I know,
get
and
sticky.
then it feels weird.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And we're just going to lay this down on our towel. It adheres down beautifully. We're gonna come back over here to our heat press. We are going to heat up our pillow again, okay? And then after that heats up, what we are going to do, you don't have to heat it up like the whole 330 seconds. Like, I feel like that's a little excessive.
Yeah.
Because it is going to pull it all the way, like once you sublimate, that heat's gonna go all the way through that towel. So if you wanna heat it up for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, either, like that's fine. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the full 330 seconds.
Yes.
So we've let it heat up for about 40 seconds. So we're just gonna go ahead and pull this up. Now this time I am going to place another sheet of copy paper down here. Once again, guys, y'all are gonna think I'm crazy. Upside down.
We're sublimating upside down.
We are sublimating this upside down, okay? So we're placing our towel with our sublimation paper not facing the heat source. It is facing down. So you're gonna place it upside down, and then we're just gonna place our copy paper back over top of it. And this, honestly, like the butcher paper, you could add another layer of butcher paper, but
it's fine.
The only thing is, I've been using copy paper and it's been working for me. Not on everything.
Right.
So once again, we're doing this 400 degrees, 330 seconds, the same as when we were adding the lamination sheet, okay? 400 degrees, 330 seconds. Now, this is gonna be a really good opportunity if you all have any questions to ask me your questions, because we are gonna have about 5.5 minutes until this is done.
Tina was asking how to mirror your image on the Epson Eco Tank, which that's just something where you're gonna go in whenever you print it, you're gonna go, so you're gonna be in Design Space and you're gonna have a print and cut. You're going to print it, you're gonna turn off the bleed, turn on the dialog box, send to printer.
Let's actually, okay.
Yeah, Lauren can show you.
I can show you. Let's go to our share screen and I can show you, because I think we have the Eco Tank that's already here. So we're gonna use System Dialog. This is already, we mirrored it in Design Space, but you don't have to. But if you're like working in Canva or somewhere else, we're gonna go to print. I'm gonna pull the System Dialog box up. Here we go. So we're gonna use the Eco Tank. I think this one is the Eco Tank right here. The 2760 is the one that a lot of people use or have converted. So you can go to, so media and quality, you choose your media type here, turn it on best. But then if you go to layout, you can go to flip horizontally, and that's where you can mirror it from your printer. So you don't have to mirror, so Canva is, go back to one. So Canva, when you're working with the software, with the Canva software, you can't flip. So if you design and you have text, and maybe you have an image and text and whatever, and you've created a sublimation design, you can't, there's not a place in Canva that you can just go in and flip it all.
Right.
You have to save it as a JPEG or a PNG and then re-upload it back into Canva as one image and then flip it. So this is a good place if you don't want to go through that whole process and you just want to mirror from your printer. You can just go here, go to your settings. So once again, for the Eco Tank, you would go to layout, and then you're just going to click that flip horizontally. You're either going to turn it on or off. Okay?
Easy peasy.
Is that, okay, so I think I just answered Tina's question, can I mirror it in Canva?
Yeah.
Once again, you have to download it and then re-upload it into Canva as one image and then flip that whole image. Whereas if you just design it in Canva, you can flip it horizontally from your printer settings.
Yes, and if you just pulled in an image, you can flip it in Canva, but if you add text to anything in Canva, you can't flip the text, which makes absolutely no sense.
No sense.
But that's why Lauren's saying you're going to have to save it as an image and then pull it back in and then reflect it that way, because it's just crazy.
April asked if this is heavy or light pressure. I would actually call this about a mid pressure. It's not super heavy. But it's not light. Now, I had to adjust my pressure settings on my heat press because it was set up to lay completely flat down here. So I did have to adjust it, but with everything sandwiched together, I would call this about a medium pressure with everything in here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not like super hard or super heavy, but it's not just like easy to lift up.
Right.
So we're going with medium pressure.
Okay, how many? You got 93 seconds left over there.
And then after that's done, I'll show you guys how to just add the
ribbon
stuff to that one.
I turned the hot glue gun in before we started. That way it's nice and toasty.
I appreciate it.
So, ooh, I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm nervous.
Okay. Well, see that toasty piece of copy paper there?
It is toasty.
So I'm going to, before I pull this out, because I want you guys to see how well this literally comes off. Like when you use the spray, everybody here in the office was always like, oh my gosh, is that gonna leave a sticky residue on that? Like, I can't believe how that works.
It feels like it would.
Just watch.
Ooh,
boom.
That looks good, girl.
And there's no sticky residue on it.
Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I need to see what it looks like on camera. I love it.
The name of the spray that we are using, if I can find it, where did I put it? It's over here. This is the Condi Dytrans Pro Spray 2. I've talked about it before. I actually tried going to their website, but it's like they have to ship this freight, I guess because it's an aerosol. I got this, I ordered it from BradshawBlanks.com. They are a small business, but that's where I ordered it from. They were super easy to work with. So I would go to BradshawBlanks.com.
I'm going to go snag that link for you guys.
And get that on there. I don't think you can put it in the, I think Sadie might have to drop it.
I'll send it. I'll send it.
This is from Bradshaw Blanks. Like I said, you can go to their website, but they were trying to they were asking where is the best freight pickup location, and I'm like, I don't know. I want it sent to my front door. Like I don't want to find a freight location for pickup.
That's hilarious.
This is really, really hot. You're gonna let that cool down. This would be great to put like pictures of people on.
Oh, for sure.
Put like baby pictures and things like that. I'm not going to touch it. I'm actually going to use this and I'm going to move it out of the way. This is the one that I had done so that I could show you guys how to put the ribbon on the back of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a piece of red ribbon. This is just red gross grain ribbon. You don't have to use gross grain. We used a satin ribbon for this one. It's whatever you want, whatever you have that looks best. So what we're going to do, I'm actually just going to hot glue this little guy on. And how I made this loop, you can make it go to the front or the back. So if you want it this way, what you're going to do, take the two ends, pick it up, pull both of them towards you. So that leaves an opening there. Or if you want it the other way, you're just going to do it the opposite way. Do y'all see the difference in the two?
Gorgeous. They both
So
look
I
good.
actually would probably do it not this way. I would pull it. So pick it up, pull it towards you. That kind of leaves the bigger opening towards you. Okay?
Love it.
And then you can just kind of push them together. You're going to turn this guy over, flip that over as well. We're going to, I think our hot glue got a little toasty too.
Is it brown?
Yeah. Add some hot glue on our tile. Place that down. And then I'm just going to pop some, pull it up again. We're going to add some hot glue here on the inside.
You can use those Teflon pillows in between your shirts when you're sublimating
Yes,
if you want to.
you can.
Yeah, I mean,
They are actually great for shirts to not leave lines, like harsh lines.
Oh, yeah, that's a good, I didn't even think about it that way.
And there you go.
Tina, we're trying to get a bow class coming very soon.
Look at her.
I promise.
Actually, I think I'm going to add a little bit more here so it doesn't like move around.
Little reinforcement.
A little reinforcements.
Listen, boot camp's next week, y'all. Boot camp. Y'all know we bring it at boot camp. Next Friday, I want to say it's next Friday, we're doing this.
Look how cute.
That's darling. That's so cute.